Hello. How's it going, everyone? Sarah, Scarlet Curta, Trish, Easy. Blacksmith, Cookies, Bea, 420 Queen, on a Wednesday? Yeah. I've streamed every Wednesday for more than a year. How's it going, 420 Queen? Clivesy? Yeah, the schedule's right there. Go, how's it going? I had to start using this song immediately. How's it going, Yachin? Hello everyone, One Piece in honorable mentions 100%. Oh, really? Interesting. Tatsukura, how's it going? Jacob? Also Tatsukura, sorry, I totally missed, like, in the middle of Disco Elysium, I randomly, was looking through my VOD for something, and I saw that I was in the middle of a huge, interesting situation in Disco Elysium, and I missed your goodbye message, where you had to go to class, and I didn't reply. So sorry about that. Hope class is good. Ahmed? AJ, I might have... Oh no. I might have already started Disco Elysium. Well, you're gonna quickly pull ahead of me, excuse me, Sarah. Hope you're enjoying. Hypothetically speaking, do you think Gon would be better at football or badminton? Football. Thank you, Chico, for the 8-month resub. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the 8 months, and always love having you in here. Hope everything's going well. Rose, Some Tarnish, Salmi Gandhi, Kaigu, hey Verver, no worries. Garrett, Fiji, Sade. One Piece is definitely in the 80s. We shall see. One Piece is number 1. We shall see. What a very specific memory. Yeah, I just saw it in the VOD, and I'm like, come on, AJ, say bye to them. And I didn't. Hoping FF9's jumped up and Hunter x Hunter still won. Both of those are definitely within the realms of possibility. One Piece is somewhere in the 70s. We'll see. Interesting. Sup gamers? Sup gamer? How's it going, Hannah? Yeah, I had to, Jesse's mask. Sorry, just catching up to chat. Gart, Weaver. AJ is my new drug. Well, I'm not super unhealthy, at least. Kingdom Hearts number 1. You spoiled it. How's it going, Lesend? Colossal? Arcane? Interesting. Hope everyone's doing really well today. So today starts the final top 100 list of the year. The first 2 have gone really well. We've had 2 streams each for them. We'll see how long it takes to do this one. I imagine it will be similar, but we'll see how it goes. Offie, how are you? Lamp? Niamiko? I don't know if I'll pull ahead of you since I'm reading and watching so many things simultaneously, but I can understand how you played 6 hours of it. Yeah, it is so easy to just watch the hours tick away. Glad you're enjoying it so far. And hopefully the amount of stuff you're experiencing isn't too much, you know? I'm in the similar spot where it's like, if I experience like 1 or 2 more things, I'd be spreading myself too thin. I've got One Piece, obviously, the seasonal anime, that's a given. Persona 3, both of which are huge commitments. Final Fantasy 14. Well, Last of Us finished, but that was currently airing. I'm watching a couple of shows with Hannah at the moment. Like, there's a few things. There's a few things going on. Oh, and Disco Elysium, obviously. Cool, Santi. I hope you enjoy it. Oh yeah, true go. I mean, it'll only last a few more days, but I'm grateful while it's here. If anything, we need Haikyuu at number 1. That's in the realms of possibility, too. I have just started Haikyuu, wonder if it'll make the list. Well, last year it was number 2. So it'll be a hell of a drop if it isn't there. Radical, how are you? Vagabond Top 100? That's one of the interesting ones, isn't it? Oh, I'm so glad you're enjoying it, Scarlet Kurta. I gave it a second chance because of your streams, and I'm in love with it. I'm more excited for your streams now. It's such a fun game. I could understand how if you play it on your own, you might wonder, is this a streamable game? But to me, from my perspective, it is such a streamable game. The voice acting helps a lot. That's a given. But it's just like it's just so consistently entertaining. And there's lots of interesting stuff to chew on. It's just great. Thank you for the follow. Vinland was number 60-something last year. Hey, Bellatrix. Hope class goes well. No worries. One Piece? I mean, you guys can keep naming names. We're gonna get to them eventually. One Piece wasn't on the list last year because I had read, like, nothing. I'd read, like, 2 chapters. Like, last year at this time, I'd read literally, like, 10 chapters max. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying Succession, Lamp. It's amazing. The start's been amazing, Tatsukura. I was planning on buying the game, but I think I'd rather just watch you play it. Cool. Well, glad to have you experience it with me, Verver. Hey, Ark, Scully, Disco Elysium being on here next year. If this list was a month later than it is, maybe, who knows? Haven't tuned in for a while. You should watch Legend of the Galactic Heroes if you haven't. It's my GOAT show. I've seen it. Thank you for the recommendation, but I've seen it. Welcome in, Wob Smoke. One Piece in the honorable mentions. Well, you know what? I'll reveal in a second. The honorable mentions, as always. Excited to see how this goes, though I'm filming, so we'll watch the VOD later. Cool. Have a good one, Chero. And you're saying after 10 chapters it wasn't on the list? Not quite. Where are this year's lists? Someone might have linked them. There we go. Sarah linked them. One Piece hate, we need it. Okay, so just the one disclaimer that's really needed in these streams. These streams have generally been really good, but just a reminder, this cropped up a couple of times. Everything that's on this list is something I very much enjoy. At the very least, it's something I really like. At the most, it's something that is my favorite thing ever. So anything being on this list is not an insult to it. If I put Series X at 60 and Series Y that you love at 70, please don't get all up in my business about that. We're all going to have different tastes, and a lot of this is obviously very subjective and all that stuff, you know. So yeah, let's just keep that in mind, because there may be some opinions that are different than you think. But just, obviously all disagreements are welcome. Just go about it in a productive way. That's all. Shoot for the stars, and even if you don't make it, you've touched the moon. There you go. No, it makes sense. Maybe not. I haven't, Oh, wait. What did you say? Top 10. Ooh. Bleach and Sarah's top 10. If it is, that might put it up my priority list. That's the last goal that hasn't been redeemed yet. Okay. Sounds good, Zed Lundy. Preparing myself for the Sangatsu drop. Okay. We'll see. 1 month left. Also, Kaine equals Kane. Oh, I've been saying it wrong this whole time, eh? It's spelled the exact same way as one of my favorite video game characters named Kaine. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's why I've been saying Kaine. I'm so sorry, Kane. I'll do my best. I've been saying it for 11 months total now, but I'll do my best to switch. Will you ever upload your stream VOD to YouTube? Actually, I've started a new VOD channel. So that'll be where all my video game streams and top 100 streams go. Eventually. Like, I still need to confirm, but I made a little VOD channel. Because plenty of people were asking about that. Some don't want to go on Twitch. I might start just using that. It should be linked in my YouTube thing. What about manga streams? No, those will not be saved. I'll only save select ones. Like if I have a really awesome stream, I'll save it. Once the 2 months go by, I might put it on Patreon. That's about it. So I only corrected myself with Kane's name. But I didn't say thank you. So thank you so much for the 11 months. I really appreciate it. Almost a year of support. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate the long-term support. It's also a great way to preserve them. True. Very, very interesting, Kane. Kai and Zane. That is a compromise. Okay, you know what? You guys want to get started? Let's get started. Straight into the honorable mentions. But before we do, thank you very much, Baguk, for the double digits of support. Thank you for the 10 months. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so, so much. Really appreciate it. Can't wait to see Disco Elysium here. Honestly. It almost got there. Okay, here we go. This is what we got. Let me get rid of the backdrop here. Let me just read out the honorable mentions. Memento, the film. 6 Feet Under, the TV show. What Remains of Edith Finch. In my honorable mentions, I played that last year. It was very, very good. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and Ocarina of Time, and Wind Waker, ReZero's Anime, Kekai Sensen, Super Paper Mario, Mother 3, Friday Night Lights, Wolf of Wall Street, the movie, the film, Oyasumi Punpun, the most painful story I've ever read in my life, Inception, Silent Hill 2, and then I had to put Oblivion and Skyrim on there. Both of those games are jank as hell, but that's why I love them, honestly. Where am I? Dark Souls 3, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Original Trilogy, Community, the TV show, Shutter Island, the film, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which I just finished a couple months ago, great game, and Fire Emblem Awakening. Are we seeing Morrowind today? No. Sorry to spoil. I usually don't spoil, but Morrowind, no. Morrowind is not aged very well. So yes. If you guys have any questions about any of these, we can discuss them. Like always, whenever I list a new series, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, or I can move on. But we got a chunk here, so if there's anything you want to ask about this, of course. I thought Oyasumi Punpun was in your top 10 manga, or is manga just not your thing? Neither. That isn't, it doesn't have to be one or the other. Manga is my thing, but it isn't in my top 10. Yeah, it might have been in my top 10 manga last year, maybe? That's how it shook out? But it was always on the outskirts. Are you rating games on the overall game experience or specifically the story? Everything. Skyrim isn't a game, it's a platform for people to modify. For some it is. I showed my dad your protagonist list and he has some strong opinions about it. Your dad has nothing to complain about. A Song of Ice and Fire is all over the damn place. Is Mother 3 or Earthbound a better starting game? A better starting game? Probably Earthbound for the series specifically, but Mother 3 is the better game. Happy to see two of my favorite DiCaprio films in here. I think my first exposure to DiCaprio was actually Shutter Island. I think that was my first real exposure to him. Is there a reason why you're separating the Lord of the Ring movies? Because for me, my experiences with them are very, very different. Return of the King is definitely my least favorite of the trilogy, which I know is actually, I think it's a hot take. So like, while I like The Two Towers enough for it to be an honorable mention, I don't like Return of the King enough. How's it going, Johnny? I remember manga not being your thing a while ago. It used to not be. Over the past year, though. Haikyuu and Berserk changed that. Hey, Zagluto? Dave, how's it going? Never heard of 6 Feet Under before? It's beautifully... I've been talking about black comedies a lot lately, but it's beautifully blackly comic, yet the subject matter is very, very heavy. It's all about death. The absurdity of it, the weight of it, the emotions of it. And it does it really well, really tactfully. Pokemon Black and White not in the honorable mentions? No. Sorry, I'm a little behind in chat. The biggest surprise about your top 100s to me was that's a lot of JRPGs. That's me. Fellowship as a favorite is so base. Fellowship's the best. Maybe my... Well, actually, no, I can't spoil the list. But Fellowship's the best Lord of the Rings movie for me, easily. When your bio was Boromir's quote, oh. That era. Sorry, I got some Fata Morgana in the background. The vibes are not right for this. Is Dark Souls 3 also less regarded for you after playing Elden Ring? No, I wouldn't say so. I honestly just replayed Dark Souls 3, and it just didn't hit the same. Dark Souls 3 didn't make it? It's right here. Oh, you mean the top 100. Yeah, unfortunately. I played 3 minutes of Fata Morgana. Well, I'm glad they were worth it, and I hope the next 40 hours or whatever, if assuming you're able to do it all, 40 hours, maybe it's like 30, I don't know, is very worth Fiji. Can we bet to start it off? No. I know which ones I want to do a bet for, but not quite yet. So, I do have to say, I'm a fraud. I'm a fraud once again, because this list does not have 100 items on it. It has 101. Oh. Why does it... That's weird. Why is it 10? Why does it say 102? Oh dear. Okay, well, we'll work with this. Hold on. Thank you so much, Sultan, for the 9 months. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Niamiko, for gifting out a sub as well. Thank you, guys. Yeah, let's check the whole list together. So sorry. Don't control F. I won't this time, Zenon, I promise. Anime Guy, how are you? Yeah, so the formatting is all a mess. It's fine. Whiplash is actually 101. I don't know why it says 102. I do know if it's 101. It's 101 for sure. It's just coming out as 102 because I don't understand Google Docs sometimes. Anyone who's helped me out with a Google Doc knows that I don't get it. I generally don't break up Lord of the Rings for the purpose of these rankings. It's one story across 3 movies and games, so it ranks really high that way. I disagree. Yeah, I know you're joking, Fiji. Anyways, Whiplash had to make it. It had to make it. Primarily because I've just been thinking about it a lot lately, and I don't think there's a work that horrifies me and makes me feel very sobered and sad, and yet at the same time, I don't know, it inspires me at the same time, like in equal measure. It's really interesting. Yeah, I think if I add another, it's gonna be 103. You're right. I think you're right, Trish. Yup. Holy shit. No. What if I do this? Oh no. Oh no. How do I fix this? Ooh. Oh no. Hold on. Hold on. Format? Very scuffed. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm not gonna leak. Okay, hold on. What a fraud I am. We'll get it sorted. We'll get it sorted. Okay, yeah. I know what the problem is. Okay. Technical difficulties, of course. Stream's canceled. Okay. Okay. I think we might have got it. I think we might have got it. Nope. Okay, I think I have to write it in. I think I just have to write it in. What a disaster. This is horrible. Okay. Oh, what a nightmare. Okay. I have to type it in, basically. How's it going, Mandela? I didn't see The Last of Us. You didn't. That is true. Diego, how's it going? Nothing. Google Docs. There's probably a space that was accidentally added to the numbers if you want to try to find that. That's not the issue. I wish it was, because that would be very fixable. It's fine. I'm just dumb. And I'll just tell you guys, I guess. I saw a Whiplash edit recently where it's a bald dude yelling at Bochi. Oh, dear. Didn't Community make the list last time? Yes, it did. Number 100. Pokemon Black and White. And this one is exactly where it was. Hey, NL, how's it going? This one stayed exactly where it was. Have a huge video on Pokemon Black and White. Not going to talk about it a ton, but I think it's like the last remnant of the setting-based storytelling before Pokemon started shifting to something else. I think it's amazing. I think it's a great game. N is the best Pokemon character. Always has been. Maybe always will be. We'll see. But Pokemon Black and White is great. It's really good. It's the only one I never got into along with Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Did you get into the ones after it, Trish? Next. You did? Interesting. I think perspectives on, hey, Terravin. I think perspectives on Pokemon really change depending on when you got into it, or like what your general storytelling preferences are. Sun and Moon are really good. I enjoy both of them. What'd you think about Lily's arc? I really liked it. I think Sun and Moon captures a quality in character writing that's very rare in the Pokemon games. It's not quite a favorite, but I think Sun and Moon are very good. But I can understand why Pokemon is not for everyone. Like, I can't say, I don't know. No, I would. I was gonna say, I don't know if I'd get into it the same way now if I, the same way if I started playing it now at this age. But if I played the games, like, generations 2 to 5, I definitely would. Gen 9 does some setting-based storytelling. Kinda. I just don't think it's very good. Which Pokemon would you play as the first one? If you're planning on getting into the series, I would say the Gen 1 remakes. Gen 1 remakes probably. Pokemon Snap 2 is really fun. This one just snuck in as I was talking about Pokemon Kuroko no Basuke. You know, this series, still to this day, I see it get a lot of shit. But I think Kuroko no Basuke and Blue Lock are very much cut from the same cloth. Very exaggeratory, all over the place representation of awesome sports stuff. I don't know. I guess so, Sebastian. I never finished Let's Go. But while and it's tons of fun, it's tons of hype, it's so easy to binge. It's shonen hype. It's just if you're a shonen head, you'll really like aspects of Kuroko no Basuke at least. If you're a meathead, if you like rawness and swag, you'll like Kuroko no Basuke a lot. This isn't a blanket statement, but I think there are a lot of, like, the meathead in me really loves so much of Kuroko's stuff. But that isn't to say that there isn't character substance, because there is tons. Aomine, we saw one of my favorite antagonists, one of my favorite sports anime characters. Akashi, so much fun. So much great voice work. I said voice work again. How good is the animation in it? It's overall good, but it can be stiff at times. There's moments, like, I think the moments they prioritize are out of this world. But moment to moment, it's not super consistent. It can be stiff. Like, there are some running animations that are really weird. They do reuse animations that look a little janky sometimes. So yeah. You need to suspend your disbelief a lot. But even, like, from episode 1, it tells you the type of story it is. And as long as you're okay with that, it remains consistent within that. Yeah, some people sometimes find it hard to connect with sports shows. I get that. Number 98 is a new addition. Yeah, Season 1 is the roughest, for sure. Great Ace Attorney, mayhaps? Number 98 is a new addition, and it is not Great Ace Attorney. Number 98 is Chainsaw Man. This is almost entirely because of the adaptation, which I love. I love the adaptation. If we were just talking manga, it would be a decent 8. It wouldn't be in the honorable mentions. The anime, though, I adore. I adore the approach of the anime. It made me appreciate Denji more, Aki a little bit more, Power. The casting is spot on, the direction, the music. It's a dream of an adaptation for me that helped me appreciate the story overall more, and because of it, number 98 here. I can't wait as well, Rose. I can't wait as well. The voice acting of Chainsaw Man is perfect. Every bit of casting seems spot on to me. It's wild. At first I thought Aki would be another Sasuke type character, but he's so much more. I haven't seen or read Naruto, so I couldn't comment, but Aki's amazing. Curious of what you believe makes a sports series truly great or fantastic? The same thing that makes any given story great or fantastic. There's no real difference. The rare case of liking the anime more than the manga for Chainsaw Man? For me in general, or sorry, for me, Offie, or just in general? Either way. Yeah, it's lovely when it heightens your appreciation in that way. I believe with how Part 2 has been shaping up, Chainsaw Man can rise through these ranks. I will say, honestly, I'm enjoying Part 2. I can't say at the moment that I feel like it will catapult it up. I'm generally enjoying it. I like Asa a lot, but I do like Part 1 better so far. But that doesn't mean that Part 2 isn't good. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have its draws. I just enjoy Part 1 more, and it's not really heightening my appreciation for the series overall so far. But yeah. it's definitely not lowering it. Let's just put it that way. I think part 2 is better than part 1 if we compare it at where part 1 was. I think it does some things better and cleaner, but I wouldn't agree personally. It's still good though, like I said. I'm just saying it's not head and shoulders above part 1 in a way that'll help catapult it up, you know? How did you like the past 3 chapters? Same as always. Very interesting, very good. I enjoyed them. Asa's great. If she wasn't written in a way that made her really enticing and likable in really quirky ways, and a great foil for Denji, then I wouldn't be nearly as invested as I am. Fujimoto banks so much on Asa, and so far it's definitely paying off. Cool, Trish. Glad you liked it. Number 97, Dragon Age Origins. Went up 1 spot. The first real character piece video game that I've ever played, and will always kind of stick with me for that reason. Yeah, lots of great characters. I love Alistair. He's one of my top video game characters in anything. Morrigan. Just an amazing cast, top to bottom. If I were to replay it, I might be lowballing. If I were to replay it, it might be higher. Cool. I'm glad you enjoy it so much, Sarah. Did you watch or read JJK? Yes, but you can refer to my anime list for questions about that. Thank you, Santi. I made a video about JJK. Hey, Fienma. How is the world building in this game? Very good. I hesitate to call it like the best ever, like the among the best I've ever seen, but it's definitely very good and definitely enough to shoulder the narrative. Thank you, Potential Potato, for the follow. Origins is easily, excuse me, sorry. Origins is easily the best Dragon Age game for me. Better than Inquisition, better than... What's the second one called? I don't remember what the second one was called. A favorite Origin, maybe Dwarves? Maybe? They're all really good. Yeah, I agree. It's got an amazing cast, Jesse's Mask. Is it a turn-based game? No. Oh, it's just called Dragon Age 2. Okay. Yeah, Dwarf Noble. I think that might be it. The amount of rich and dense world building off the bat in that one is wild. The cast system, unbelievable. Number 96, Final Fantasy VIII. I'd be down for a remaster too, Dark Abobs, but I think it still stands on its own, or like stands up pretty well. Final Fantasy VIII. I think there are lots of aspects about this game that are underrated. Specifically, Squall as a character still to this day I think is very underrated, as you see in my protagonist list, and the plot. The plot's so clean. It's one of the best Final Fantasy plots. It might be the best outside of, like, 7 and 14, to an extent. It's a great game. It's top to bottom, it's a great game. Does it have holes? Yes. Does it have flaws, weaknesses? Yeah. Do I like the battle system? Not really. But what remained in my mind when I finished this game were very soothing, melancholic vibes. A cast that I quite like. Love Laguna. A very flawed masterpiece. I can see that for sure. And ultimately, such a positive experience. One of the best Final Fantasy OSTs as well. I could see the argument that it's the best one. Squall's jacket is cool. I agree. Number 95, we have another new addition. Can you call something with flaws a masterpiece? Absolutely. Tons. I have tons of games or stories that I consider masterpieces that have flaws. A masterpiece isn't disregarding that something could have flaws. A masterpiece doesn't have to be perfect. It just means that the positives so outweigh the negatives that it makes them almost like a non-entity in your experience. Hunter x Hunter is a masterpiece even if it has one flaw. Pike, fish siblings. Gurren Lagann? I mean, spoilers, we'll get to Gurren Lagann later. Yeah, it has little flaws, I guess, but I struggle to really think of significant ones. Yeah, honestly, I don't think Pike is a negative. We meme, but I don't think it is. Oh, next in the ranking. I see. Gurren Lagann next in the ranking. No. Let's put it this way. I would not have a poster like this for something that's my 95th favorite fiction. So next is... $95. Gurren Lagann better be top 20. Where was it last year? I think it was like 25, something like that. So it's 92nd. Number 95 is... There we go. Something I replayed. Final Fantasy Tactics. War of the Lions version. One of the least, probably the least Final Fantasy out there, but speaking of good plots, this one has a great one. Lots of really interesting political intrigue, Game of Thrones-esque battles, a plot that kind of ramps up the more you go along, a really deceptively rich lore and mythos, great thematic storytelling, great presentation. It was 24 last year, gotcha. Sorry, Sebastian. Yeah, the one negative... So the one thing for this is I can't stand the gameplay. It was a struggle to play this. It doesn't work with me. I don't understand it. I don't know how I beat it, to be honest, but I pulled through because I found the story really, really engaging and enticing. This will probably be quite a bit higher up if I liked the gameplay, but I don't. I can't stand it. Oh, that's interesting, Darkabobs. Last played it when I was 10. The nostalgia will hit quite a bit then, I imagine. That's me with 12. Yeah. 12, I can play... I see that with 12. I can play 12 pretty easily, but I see that for sure. A remaster would really help it, Jesse's Mask. I'm taking a shot for every FF game that appears on the list. Ooh. Well, you've already got 2, so hopefully that the shots aren't that strong. Ivalice is very, very rich. I'm excited to get to 9, 10, and 12. All of them great games. Did you enjoy the Hollow Knight gameplay? I didn't, unfortunately. That's just because I can't really play Metroidvanias. No, I can't play them. I can't really enjoy them that much. For me, Hollow Knight was carried by the aesthetic, the atmosphere, and like the boss fights. The boss fights I found really, really good. I really enjoyed those. But everything else, like the traversing the map and finding new areas and unlocking, all that aspect of Metroidvanias, it doesn't work with me. I'm sorry, Dave, I just despise everything you love. Curious to see where 14 will land, if it does land. If it does, we'll see. FF9 is a slog to play? I would disagree for sure. Especially now with the Steam versions or the ports or whatever where you can skip, where you can speed up. That helps a ton. Completely the same with me for Metroidvanias. Yeah, I know it's not a popular thing, but that's just how I feel about them, unfortunately. The boss fights were too scary. I like to traverse the map. We were opposite then. But I did like to traverse the map in areas. Like I said, the atmosphere and aesthetic were out of this world. Would you rate 14 as a whole or divide by expansions? I would rate it as a whole. I would rate it as a whole. Yeah, Jesse's Mask. When I play 9 on stream, I'm going to have to do that. I'm glad those options are there, though. When I get stuck in Metroidvanias, I feel like an idiot. Me, the entire way through Hollow Knight. Okay, number 94, another new addition. Can you believe it? I did say this list was exciting. Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Damn, One Piece didn't even make it into the honorable mentions. It is indeed not in the honorable mentions. I really, really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed it. It's my, I guess, second favorite trigger work. And I will say, like, the first 6 episodes, I think, are fantastic. Fantastic. I think they kind of didn't really know what to do with the direction of the show, I think, in episodes 7, 8, and 9. It was kind of screwing around a lot. There were some good ideas there. There was some stuff that I thought was interesting and made sense and emotionally captivating, but it did feel a little directionless and like they didn't know how to prioritize. And I was going, okay, maybe this is going to end up being like a solid 8 that doesn't really stick out in my mind a lot. And then episode 10 happened, and it brought David's character all together in such a beautiful way that the last few minutes, the insert song, it shook me, it destroyed me, and I was thinking about it for like 2 weeks after I finished it. Is this your anime of the year for 2022? No. It's one of them, though. The ending brings it all together. If the ending was like pretty good, it wouldn't be here. But like a good ending can really just overpower everything, you know? David is one of my favorite characters that I experienced in 2022. David is phenomenal. And I watched it in both sub and dub. The dub's good. The dub's very good, I think. And that is tier 9. The only answer for anime of the year 2022 is Mob. Mob was very good. I guess I don't have an answer then, though. The dub fits better. To me, it's a toss-up. It could be either one. Giancarlo Esposito I laughed out loud when I heard him in the dub. I laughed out loud. Small tier 9, yes. You should put Mob at number 1 on this list? Okay, well, I gotta reformat everything then. But, no worries. We can do that. Other tiers have gotten bigger. Number 93... Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Do you plan on making mob videos in the future? No. So, a bit of a drop, I guess. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, my feelings on it are so largely dependent on the Rosalina books, the atmosphere, the general aura of them. And that's why I love these games. That's why I find them so enticing. That's why I find them so engaging. But for me personally, that my investment being so dependent on the atmosphere, I guess, just gives it a little bit of a ceiling. Like, I think Rosalina's a good character, but like overall the character work doesn't really hook me immensely. The gameplay is really smooth and polished. It isn't my favorite in the world, so the main thing for me is aura, atmosphere, the storybook stuff, and that gives it a little bit of a ceiling, because the other stuff I find just good, I guess, just to explain why it's maybe dropped off a little. Still love it. I just realized since you have to type them all, you can troll us more easily. Oh, don't worry, I've thought about that already. I've thought about that. I've thought about that big time. Have you played Triangle Strategy? No, but I do want to. Would you say both galaxies are on the same level? Usually people prefer one. I prefer one. I like one better than two. But I don't think the difference is significant enough to separate them. And like my feelings on both of them are very similar. Number 92. It was all deliberate. It was all deliberate, Sebastian. No worries, Thomas. It's a great game. It's a great game. Have a good homework sesh, if that's possible. This song is The Price of Freedom from Crisis Core. That one's old? 18 years? 17 years? I mean, there are older works on this already. I adore Oron. It's genuinely consistently hilarious and sweet and endearing. It uses the medium to supreme effect, and it's got some great characters. Tamaki's amazing. Hold on, I gotta change this, or else I'm gonna start weeping. Tamaki's amazing. One of my favorite Mamoru Miyano roles, and Haruhi's great. And then it's deceptively digs into some really good character work that I wasn't really expecting when I started it, but it's really good, some of the stuff there. Tons of substance. Welcome in properly, Offie. And thank you, Puzzlin, for the 9 months. Thank you so much for the 9-month resub. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Are you planning to play Hades on stream or on your own? I don't know yet. I don't know. Oron, awesome series. I really enjoyed it. Number 91. I've heard Hades is really good. I also heard it's really horny. Apparently. Oops. It's not? Hades isn't horny? I don't know. I don't know. I just heard it here and there. Heard from the same person that says JoJo order doesn't matter? I'm not sure what you're referring to. I've just heard it all over the place. I've heard it outside of Twitter as well. It doesn't really matter. Oh, whoops, typo. The Tatami Galaxy. The Tatami Galaxy and Time Machine Blues. Time Machine Blues came out this year. It was kind of slept on. I didn't see a lot of people talking about it, but it's a great addition to the story, which is why I include it. It was tons of fun. It enhanced my appreciation for the story overall a little bit. Not a ton, but this continues to be a great story that, especially the Tatami Galaxy itself, is super relatable for the young adults, specifically people who've been to college. If you've been to college and have experienced like the emotional wanderlust of, did I make the right choice? What is this routine I'm in? The ambience of college, was it, or university, was it Did it deceive me? You know, those sorts of ideas, things that a lot of young adults go through. It does really, really good. It does really, really good things with, excuse me. Check it out, Thomas. Try it. Just give it a try. I think if you're going through that, it would speak to you in some way. The message of the story is rent-free in my mind and helped me a lot through my college experience. The message at the end, how it all comes together, is awesome. It's awesome. It's really great. Oh, no problem, Vanilla. Oh, banger. Hope you recover smoothly. And it looks great as well. It looks really good. We got some Monday crew in here. How long did it take to make the first iteration of this? The first iteration was last year, and that took me a couple weeks. I heard it's hard to follow the subtitles. At first, it's a bit of a shock. It goes by a little fast, but I think you get used to it. Next, we're coming up to our first bet soon. Hope that's okay. Where can we read the doc file? This doc file? You can't, because then you would be spoiled. Slade, one nice thing about Slave Knight Gale. In a lot of ways, kind of the encapsulation of the Dark Souls stories. In a way that really brings it together. I don't know. That final fight is the most emotional. Sorry, the fight with Gale is one of the most emotional I've been when playing Dark Souls. And Dark Souls doesn't really get me emotional. So that's kind of saying something. I don't know. I think it's a great encapsulation of, and personification, the boss fight with them, of the series overall. Thoughts on One Punch Man? Again, you can go to my anime list for questions like this, but I have not, for One Punch Man specifically, have not watched it. I have not watched One Punch Man. What? Still here? What? Oh. Oh, can we get a goal for that? No, I'm not really interested. Have you played Minecraft? I have, not my thing, unfortunately. Chihaya Furu. One of my favorite characters ever. Like, maybe not in the top 20-ish area I always talk about of peak fiction characters, but if I were to do a list, like, he would be in, like, the top 40, 50. Taichi. Didn't see it on your backlog? That's because I played it for, like, 2 hours, Dark Side. I played it, and I'm just like, I don't really like it. Yeah, I'm aware, Ahmed. I'm just not really interested, personally. Yeah, Taichi would be in, like, the 50-ish range of all time, I think. Maybe I'm overestimating or underestimating how that list would potentially shake out. But the point is, the main sentiment I'm trying to get across here is that he's a fantastic character. I adore him. You should do a top 100 most overrated pieces of media? No, I shouldn't. No, I shouldn't. Are you kidding? I'd be abandoned by any viewer, any potential viewer. I also don't want to... I can't. There's no chance. But yeah, Chihaya Furukawa is great in general, like Drunk Eldian says. Chihaya's great. Arata's great. Suo, really interesting. There are like 7 or 8 characters that I find really enticing and engaging in different ways. And it nails a lot of the sports anime stuff, while also being kind of, elegaic and very, very flowery in presentation in a way that I really enjoy. Shinobu, yes. Didn't the manga end recently? I think it did, yeah. I haven't read it, though. I think you'd really enjoy streaming Hades? Maybe. Maybe. Potentially. Have you read Girls Last Tour? Once again, I would direct you to my anime list for questions like this. But no. I've watched the anime, though. Chihaya Furu, more than any other sports anime, kept me on the edge of my seat because I could rarely tell who was going to win the matches. That's true. I think I might agree. I think it might be the most unpredictable in terms of the result sports anime out there. I think that's true. For me, at least. Thank you for the follow, Zenkai. Hoping for a higher Monogatari placement. Let me see. Interesting. We'll see. I didn't remember. Number 89. Into the Spider-Verse. Big drop. I think during last year's list, I kind of just overestimated the emotional connection I had to it, but I still love it. I still think it's awesome. I think it's one of my, if not my favorite superhero movie. I hate it. I despise it. Just my emotional connection, I think I overrated or overestimated it for last year's list, which is why it's gone down. Is Puss in Boots here? I don't know. How excited are you about the sequel? I'm very excited for that. That looks really fun. Oh, sorry, Dark Knight. I forgot about Dark Knight. My bad. This or that, Peter or Miles? Which Peter? Which Peter are we talking? Toby? No, I have to ask Scarlet Kurta. Griffin? Dark Knight is on the list. I had to spoil that. I forgot it. Toby. Toby or Miles? Hey, Andres. Miles. Have you seen the new Batman movie? I have. Do you know about Hajime no Ippo? I have. I have watched the anime. What did I miss? The stuff on screen. Not a ton. But you just came for our first bet, one which... these two series Andres has very interesting relationships with. You guys ready for the first bet? Because I think it's a good one. So which is number 88? Bedtime. Okay, here we go. Gintama or One Piece. Great bet, eh? What a first bet. I'm proud of that one. Mom? Why are you calling for your mom? Okay. Let's do this. Start prediction. So again, you're betting for the lower one, which is number 88. And just to clarify, One Piece, I wrote this list out at the end of Impel Down. No Marineford is put into this. Like, it just at the end of Impel Down. There we go. Wait, so Gintama went up from the honorable mentions? It did. Well, you're allowed to update it? I know. I'm in the middle of an arc, though. My feelings have not settled. So I don't want to update it. Have you finished Gintama? Yes. How to vote? You voted. You voted something. Already. Thank you, NES Polar, for the 7 months. Currently watching your Disco Elysium VOD. I think I'm gonna love that playthrough. Me too. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thank you so much for the 7 months. I'm curious about One Piece's placement once you're caught up with it. Me too. Because from what I hear, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, this is what people tell me. Okay, so I don't know if this is gonna happen. People have told me that, in my opinion, of One Piece would go, like, really high after Marineford and maybe an arc after that, and then stuff after it will lower it. That's what I've heard. So I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll see. It was honorable mentions before. What made it go higher? I think I rewatched some episodes. I rewatched Benny Zakura, the Benny Zakura movie, and I kind of forgot how much I cared about these characters for Gintama. That's why it's higher from the honorable mentions. It made quite a jump. I feel like I could have made a better guess if I'd been in the streams more. Well, hopefully you didn't put too much into that then. That might happen. Benny Zakura is amazing. Okay, let's see. What did you guys vote for? Wow, this is evenly split. 52% say One Piece. What a great spread. 52% say One Piece. 48% say Gintama. The answer is... Let me write it in. One Piece. $54K channel points gone. Congratulations to all the winners. Congratulations, Sebastian, Anime Guy, Hannah. Hey, Kylov, how's it going? Darkside, whoever won, congratulations. One Piece only gets better as it goes. Don't listen to the frauds. Alright, we'll see. I lost the bet, but it's good that it's on the list. I'm very happy with this placing for One Piece. I don't know what I expected, but, I mean, it's a favorite, and it's in the tier where love is not too strong a word. You know? So I'm really happy with that. I'm really happy with where my placing of One Piece shook out. Glad that my vote glitched or I would have lost... Oh, no. Okay, now put Baron Amatsuri 87. I'm very surprised to see it higher than Chainsaw Man or even some Final Fantasy stuff, but it's awesome to see. The silly hater in me would have giggled if it didn't make it. I've never seen someone who has a series as their fourth favorite fiction be a simultaneous hater in that way, Trish, but I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful... The dualism... The dualism associated with that is beautiful. Easy points. See, Hannah and I were watching Gintama, so... We watched some episodes of Gintama together and Benny Zakura. And I've been discussing also One Piece thoughts as well. So... there may have been a bit of Gintama influence there. Sometimes you have to hate something to love it. True. I despise Togashi. Oh, it is. It is, Trish. It's very funny. I should have watched more so I could have caused more shifts. Gintama top 1, the more we watch. Two amazing shonen. Two shonen that I think have many, many flaws, but the heights of them are great. Some really cool thematic stuff, some great characters. Gintama means a little bit more to me. But, I mean, I'm halfway done One Piece and I'm done Gintama, so who's to say? Okay, next is... Oh, we got some fun ones coming up. Oh, 96. Not necessarily this one. This will disappoint a couple people. I love this. Ramuki asks Hannah, what episode, where'd you end off in Gintama? The police chief covered himself in honey to attract the bug, the last episode. That's Gintama, isn't it? How many stories fell from your list down to honorable mentions? A fair few, like 6 to 8 of them. Yeah. He's my favorite character, the man with honey all over him, naked, getting a bug. Mine too. Top 1, him. Top 2, Gintoki Kagura. Did Chainsaw Man come up? It's right there. It's on the list right here, number 98. This ain't gonna disappoint anyone. I haven't seen a Sangatsu tweet in a quadrillion years. No, but someone in chat earlier said I'm bracing myself for a Sangatsu fall. It just isn't as rent-free as it used to be. That's pretty much all it is. And I said this last year, I think, but I could use a rewatch with it, but I'm not confident that a rewatch would shoot it up. I don't know, it's in a weird spot. Still, at this moment, my connection to it's very strong, otherwise it wouldn't be here, but yeah, it's been falling off a little bit for me. Need Season 3 to come in and change my opinion? I would welcome it very strongly. Thoughts on Burnfield? My favorite part. If we're talking about like a collection, like multiple episodes, the moment where he hugs the dog is my favorite of the whole series, but my favorite like stretch, I guess mini arc in the series is Burnfield. I feel like my taste now would kind of phase it out. Maybe me too. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's in a weird spot. Number 85 though, another recent addition. Monday Crew? That was a long time ago, Andres. If Burnfield is in top 1, I don't know what is, because it's not Bully for me. If Bully was more concise, then maybe. Herlock Sholmes, Monday Crew? I love this game. For anyone who doesn't know, for anyone who doesn't know, I streamed it. We just recently, a few weeks ago, finished streaming it after many weeks on end of an adventure with these wonderful characters. Love the cast. The presentation is fantastic. The dialogue is great. Herlock Sholmes just is the epitome of the series, and he is just everything beautiful about it is sort of encapsulated in him. It made me laugh, it made me tear up, it made me kind of disgusted in some ways. The world building is genuinely, really took me by surprise at how good it is. Yeah, Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, to me, pretty comfortably better than the original Phoenix Wright trilogy, but like, I think it has to do with a greater setting focus, generally better translation and localization. Those two are the things that really make it and a personal preference for the era that really help elevate it a little bit. Are Ace Attorney VODs going to go on the VOD channel? Maybe. I'll see if I can recover them, because I don't have them saved, but maybe I can download them from Twitch. I thought Herlock was just a meme. He's a fantastic character. Sholmes is Triple S. He's... That last VOD you died from Peak so many times, that's one of my favorite streams ever. The streams were so fun, it definitely deserves a spot for those streams alone. It was such a great experience. It was so fun. It was amazing. If Sholmes isn't Triple S, he's on the cusp. I adore him. Hope you enjoy it when you get to finish, Kyloff. Okay, I might... The first 12 episodes, I might be with you, Andres. We'll see. Herlock might be my favorite character in all of Ace Attorney. He might be mine, too. Him or Godot. It's those two. Definitely some of the most fun I've had watching Twitch streams. Hashtag thank you, AJ. Hopefully more to come. But I'm so glad you enjoyed Offie. I did. You guys made my experience with that better than it would have been otherwise. Glad you enjoyed, Fiendma. Number 84. This one's a little bit of a drop as well. For different reasons than Sangatsu. Me too, Nora. I just reflecting on that story. Disco Elysium next year's list? Perhaps. Bit of a drop from Fate, primarily because I tried to reread it. I love the characters and ideas and thematic execution of Fate. It's really creative and bold and awesome. Shiro is one of the best. Shiro is such a great character. Love Kire. Love Angra, Bazette. Saber, Rin, in Stay Night specifically. It does great things for Kiritsugu, but the thing is, I tried to reread it, and the slice of life, it just is worse than I remember. I really have problems with it. I really have problems, and the sex scenes, oh man, oh boy, it bothers me more than I remember. It's tough. It's a tough reread for me. The Final Fantasy XIV drop because of 5.2 being mid? If you could see my experience, if you could see my reaction to 5.2, the what scenes, the sex scenes. Nasu does love his slice of life, and he does love his sex. Shiro, I've said this many times, and I'll continue to say it. Shiro, I've never seen someone... It's a joke, Fiendma. Don't worry. I've never ever seen someone so stressed out while having sex. I've never seen someone whose, like, thoughts go to the most unhinged places in the world. Why do you think of these things when you are having sexual intercourse? Why do you have the most wild metaphors to use for the people you're having sex with to describe them internally? Why do you do this? I don't get it. Does it happen in the anime as well? The anime sidesteps it. From the so little I've read from the sex scenes in Fate, they are the worst written things I've ever had to look at, the most awkward writing I've ever seen. Just look up fanfiction, it's all bad. Yeah, I agree. But that's nice. Oh no, Nora. Oh, that's nice, sweetie. It is. I'm so glad I'm part of that moment in history. But to be fair, like, it's weird. The duality of Nasu, because those scenes are so badly done, and the slice of life is so tedious to me. Like, a lot of it doesn't have much that adds to the characterization or plot or themes or anything. On anything more narrow than a sort of broader overall thematic level. Like, Hollow Ataraxia is a bit of a different case because of the contrast between those innocent times and what they mean for the characters in terms of what their actual situation is. You know what I mean if you played it. But in specifically, it's hard for me to reread Fate Stay Night. Hopefully that makes okay sense. To this day, still one of the most underrated things I've seen. Well, maybe not. Maybe underwatched, because most people I talk to really like it. So let me rephrase that. Underwatched. SSSS Dynazenon, one of the best anime of 2021? Like, top 3? Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. One of the best EDs ever. I literally just... there was a period of time where I was just showing Hannah all of my favorite EDs and OPs, and one of the first ones I did was show her this one. I don't remember all the anime in 2021, Andres. That's why I'm being safe. Not above The Sopranos anymore. Fell off. It's a beautiful ED. And Oh, I said Edge Runners was my second favorite Trigger anime. Is this my favorite? What am I thinking of? I don't remember. Either way, Dynazenon, I adore it. I adore all the characters. I adore... Is Gridman on this? No. I guess I spoiled. I didn't mean to. No, it's not, though. To me, Dynazenon's better in every way outside of, like, thematic concepts. Gurren Lagann is Gainax. But some people count it. Some people count it as Trigger. One Piece 88, yeah. How you feeling about that, Fiji? Does that feel fair? I watched the first episode and didn't feel it. Should I give it more time? If you didn't feel the first episode, probably not. Basically the same exact stuff, so yeah. So if you want to count it, I don't really care. Sure. If you count it, then Gurren Lagann's my favorite. This would be second, I guess. If you don't, then I guess this is my favorite. It's up to you. Thank you, Ember Reaper, for the 14 months. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you for more than a year. 14 months now of support. You've been here since the very beginning. Thank you so much, buddy. Hope you're doing well. That's tier 8. Can it go towards Tears of the Kingdom? For sure. The first Dynazenon episode's kind of weird. How? Well, Dynazenon in general is off-kilter, for sure. Okay, we're getting to some juicy stuff now. Oh, wait, no. Not yet. Well, these are all juicy. Did you like the villain in Gridman more or the villains in Dynazenon? Gridman's is better written, for sure, without a doubt. But Dynazenon's I felt more connected to. And they appealed more to me. Like, I'm not gonna stand here and say that they're better written than Gridman's, but like I think that's a crazy statement. But because of the whole package and their integration in it, and their dynamics with the characters, and how it all fits together, I care about them more. I'm so glad the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles made the list. Easily. And I'm really glad too. It is, Andres. The Legend of Zelda is better than anyone realizes, I think. Yeah, Gridman's antagonist is awesome. The rest, it's easily the best thing about it for me, and the way it integrates with the meta storytelling. Everything else didn't really hit for me. I didn't really care about the characters, and I know the reason why the characters are the way they are in Gridman. It still doesn't make me connect with it more, you know? Zelda, greatest video game franchise easily. Zelda is a subtextual masterpiece. Time's a flat circle. Sorry, yeah, True Detective. I think that this has gone down 2. Is that right? I feel like it's gone down more. Let me check the old one. Oh, crap. Yeah, it is. Wow. Interesting. I felt like it dropped more. Either way, True Detective Season 1. Still one of the greatest single seasons of TV ever. Love Rust. Fantastic. All this stuff, I kind of talked a lot about it when we talked about Rust in the character protagonist list. Have you watched Season 3? No, I've watched 1 and 2. Hope you check out Severin soon. Yeah, I still don't know what that is. I'm going to look into it like I told you guys, definitely. But I've never heard of it. Then we have here, author piece of shit. Not watching the new anime, but Rurouni Kenshin Trust and Betrayal, the adaptation specifically, I haven't read the manga, is a phenomenal piece of work. Phenomenal piece of work. It's one of the things, it's one of my early, I've watched this in like the first year year and a half that I watched anime, and it opened my eyes a ton. To like the sort of taste that really appeals to me. Very Fate Zero, Fate Zero-esque, darker Hunter Hunter-esque. No, maybe not Hunter Hunter, but like I find I get a lot of similar feelings between Trust and Betrayal and Fate Zero. Trust and Betrayal is quite a bit different from the manga too. It's very much its own thing. I've heard the same. How do you feel on the whole death of the author debate? Can you be more specific? Number 80. Parasite. A little less rent-free, which explains this 15-place drop. Still absolutely wonderful in basically every way. This is high. It dropped 15. Yeah, I understand what you mean, Radical, but what are you asking specifically about the concept? Like, I don't really know how to get at that if you just say, what are your thoughts? Like, what do you want to know? Parasite, absolutely wonderful. Kind of need to rewatch it, actually. It deserves all the praise it gets and more. The things they do with the setting-based storytelling, the structure of the story in general, some of the scenes are so iconic. The way they portray sort of levels and hierarchy, it's absolutely wonderful. It's absolutely cracked. It's another of those Blackley comic ones, right, Offie? It's bizarre. Do you think art is separate from the author, and if his or her intention matters regarding your own experience? I think that any piece of art is inherently tied to the author in some way. To me, on some level, at the very least, every piece of work created by someone is tied to them. Their identity is baked into it to some extent. But intention matters with regards to when you're discussing themes or how good it is in executing its intent. But when it comes to personal connection or your own experience, I don't think intent matters really. Like what, Kylov? Number 79. Bit of a rise, actually. So how do you come to the terms with the fact that you love something made by a terrible person? There's no real process to it. That's reality. I don't know. I don't really know how to answer. Yeah. This thing really means a lot to me. The author is horrible. That's just facts, you know? I think as long as you're upfront about the fact that about your thoughts on your thoughts on that, and you're honest, and you aren't endorsing horrible things, I think it's all fair. Like, for example, actually, let me spoil something on this list, which I'm actually pretty happy about, because J.K. Rowling, right? Harry Potter, and I'm not alone in this at all. Harry Potter, yes, sorry, to start this off, just to get this out of the way, fuck J.K. Rowling, trans rights. You have any opinion that diverges from that in any way, please don't watch this channel. J.K. Rowling is the horrendous, horrible piece of shit. However, like, that doesn't mean that Harry Potter didn't shape me as a person. And that's something that I feel an element of guilt about on some level because of how horrible she is now. But I can't be dishonest about the fact that it, for my formative years, really shaped me as a person and taught me a lot of positive things and gave me a lot of great experiences. I had a tradition with my mom for years on end, for like 6 movies in a row. We would go to the theaters together, opening night, midnight, and watch it, and it's something I'll always cherish. And memories like that stick with you forever. And so it's just, I think as long as you're up, my take on it has always been, with something like J.K. Rowling, you got to state your case with regards to this type of stuff she's doing. Mine is fuck her. But I don't think there's any shame. I don't think there should be shame in having it having shaped your life. Even though, like I said, I do feel an element of guilt. Regardless, I think that's just always going to be there. I've been shaped by Harry Potter, which was written by a horrible person. But I think it all comes down to honesty. And just to spoil this list, I was actually very happy that the books, I don't feel that connection to them. Even if they were a huge part of my life back then, they aren't anymore now. I don't feel emotional connection to it. I think that's partly due to my feelings on her. I think it is. But they're not on this list anymore when they were last year. And I was actually glad about that. Because I think cutting out that sort of influence is good. Now, Prisoner of Azkaban as a movie is on this list, just to be upfront about that. And that is still associated with her. But I think generally, at this point in my life, I hope I'm able to phase it out of my life. I hope I'm able to disconnect with it, just for my mental well-being and just stuff in that sort of thing in general. AJ, I've watched everything except SSSS Dine Zenon, which are ahead of One Piece, and I can't put any of those series even near One Piece, but that's just my opinion. It sure is. Yeah, championing your experience, and yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not taking it seriously, Rika. I just said, like, yeah, it is your opinion. Anyways, that's a little spoiler for the list coming up. Again, trans rights, fuck J.K. Rowling, all that stuff. Number 78. Kare Kano, the anime specifically. The directorial style of Eva, directed by Hideaki Anno. Some of the sort of character exploration that's very reminiscent of Eva, in a rom-com package. My second favorite rom-com behind Kaguya-sama. They are the big 2 rom-com for me. If you like Kaguya, there are a lot of elements of it that I think might appeal to you. If you like Kaguya and Eva, I would say give this one a try, because it has very distinct elements from both. Not in terms of presentation for Eva, and in terms of just the overall character interactions from Kaguya. It's awesome. Exactly, Nora. Exactly, yeah. Holding on to formative memories, and like I said, I relate to having guilt associated with that. I don't think it's anything I can really shake at the moment. Hopefully I'll be able to eventually. But it's okay. It's totally okay. It's totally valid, as long as you're upfront with the fact that, and actively don't support them going forward, you know? If Kaguya and Eva had a love child, and how peak is that, Drunk Eldian? This is his or her circumstances, yes. Oh, the manga was disappointing? Oh. Damn. Okay, 77. Hannah, are you still here? Because I got a fun one. I got a fun bet. You guys want to do another bet? Two of my top 10 any manga, so with that in mind, I should really get back on it. I only watched the 5 episodes. It's really good, especially when it gets towards the end and gets really experimental. Oh, that's too bad. Go. Are we aiming for 50 today? I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think it's possible. After these lists, are you planning on updating your mosaics on Mal? Yeah, but it's so much work. I do plan on it, but it's an annoying thing to have to do. Okay. Bedtime. I'm gonna do it, Dave. I just don't look forward to it. Have you seen the early seasons of Walking Dead? Yes. Another shonen standoff. You're right, I forgot about that rule, Power Flare. FMA drop? Well, FMA was 76 last year. So it's either dropped by 1 or stayed the same. Okay, let's do it. Which is number 77? Give me something easy. Here you go. This is easy, right? JJK or FMAB? Damn, this song. I'm sorry, Jesse's Mask, I don't know. Twitch do be like that sometimes. Oh yeah, I've heard that, Dave. I've heard Jujutsu Kaisen is very derivative from Bleach. From what I hear, Jujutsu Kaisen is like a love child of Togashi and Kubo, which really encourages me about Bleach. Don't let Fiji hear that. I mean, that's just what I've heard. The Hunter x Hunter influence on JJK. If you read it, it's so clear. It is so easy to see that. Regardless of quality. Regardless of if you think the quality is way better in Hunter x Hunter, whatever. Like, I'm not speaking of quality, I'm speaking of the amount of, the stylistics, I guess. It's pretty easy to see that JJK was inspired by it. That's so encouraging. Yeah, I keep hearing that, and that's so encouraging. And JJK has one of the best power systems. The integration, the characterization, the way it integrates with the characters, the way it informs you about the setting, it sprawls all over the place and connects everything. It's really cool. Did you place Kuroko no Basket? Yes. No, Indie Lord, I don't. The character designs look like they're from Bleach? Do they? Okay, pretty good split. 63% say JJK's lower, 37% say FMAB. The answer is Jujutsu Kaisen. It also has aspects of Chainsaw Man. How negative feelings create monsters. Yep, that's true, for sure. In my opinion, I'm not reading many manga in Jump right now. Just 3, I guess. But JJK is comfortably my favorite, excuse me. I still think to this day, I still think people dismiss it unfairly. That's a conversation for another day, though. Unless you guys want to get into it. You're not going into the Slammer tonight? Damn. Gege actually managed to justify the typical shonen thing where they explain their abilities. Yeah, that's very cool. That's very cool. Yeah, this is the Knuckles song, Zipsidian. Peak shit. After failing like 90% of my bets last stream, finally nice. We win them back. Will you ever read the FMA manga? I don't plan on it. Will JJK Shibuya arc save me? Yes! Yes! Guys, Shibuya is so good, but hidden inventory... Shibuya wouldn't be nearly as good as it is without hidden inventory. Sounds like we need an AJ video on how JJK is better than people think. I already made one. One day I'll write a long academic essay about fascism in FMA. And the thing with FMA is, I also see FMA, I feel like, unfairly dismissed. I feel like... thank you for the follow, by the way, Hachem. Not that there's anything... Like, I talk all the time about characters and setting or whatever, but, like, in terms of the subject matter that FMA B specifically covers, I don't see a lot of thematic explorations from people about it. Which I think is too bad. See ya, Santi. FMA is not underrated on Mal, but I do see, like, the discussion about it doesn't tend to dig into, I think, some of the genuinely substantial stuff. Say one nice thing about Nobara. Oh, God. I love her so much. What to narrow it down to? You know, I always go to this, so I'm going to do the easy answer. Her line about, will this be a video? No. Her line about... I always say this. The sort of musical chairs thing. You only have a certain amount of space in your life for people you care about, but once in a while, someone just brings their own chair and sits themselves. That's something that I always come back to with regards to JJK. I love it. I love her and Yuji's relationship in that way. She's got such heart. Scar's dynamic with Bradley. Oof. How that concludes, I can never handle that. Something about Naoya Zenin. I love how Gege reduces him, and totally dismisses them as a person morally. Like, it completely dismisses any idea. Like, just basically shows to the audience in the most upfront way possible, this guy's the worst, you know? I really like that. I really like that there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Oh, you're right. Thank you, Trish. Let me fix that. The love or hate needs a text. Right. Yeah, there's a new redeem, actually. I didn't mention it. Thank you for reminding me, Trish. Where? Hold on. Okay, you should have to enter text now. Now a new redeem on the channel here is Love or Hate, where, you know, you guys, I just copied this from the trend on Twitter. You know the trend where people list a bunch of characters or stories, or I think it's mostly characters, and it's just like, red is favorite, pink is love, blue is like, or whatever. So that's a redeem. You can say a character, and I'll say favorite, love, like, a neutral, dislike, or hate. Now, I think anyone I love is still a favorite, but favorite implies strong favorite, and I don't hate fictional things, really. So, but hate is just like, I think it's shit, you know? Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about it too, Nora. The infinite possibilities of the human spirit. The scene with Hohenheim, where a young Trisha says that to him. That's kind of an encapsulation of that. Gao FF6. Like, Sarah. Yes, sorry, Scarlet Kurta. If you want to mention something for the like, love or hate, you can do that. Greed and Ling, rate a character dynamic, double S. Number 75, Death Note. FMA sub or dub? Sub for me, but the dub's very good. Yeah, Gao's theme was playing as well. Perfect timing. Not a chance, Joyibuki man. Not a chance. So, Death Note. This one is another one. Kind of like really mainstream stuff, but things that I still think are underappreciated in terms of substance. Death Note has so much substance. Death Note is so rich. It has so much to say. I made 4 or 5 videos on it, and every time it kind of boggled my mind at how easily it was able to talk about such hefty concepts that it has to say. It is a huge societal critique. Critique of mankind. And a lamentation of mankind in the form of a big cat and mouse psychological thriller. Best of luck, Sultan. Best of luck. Would you say that Death Note keeps its quality after episode 25? Yes, I would. I do think it's a bit too fast, a bit too rapidly paced, but I don't think there's a significant drop-off at all. What isn't a critique? Yeah, that's why, Andres, I switched the word to lamentation. That's the question, isn't it, John Shar? I think that's something that the story really dwells upon a lot. Because, I mean, from some sort of way, you could say that through his experience, he was, in a way, fighting a losing battle. What isn't a lamentation? Fair enough. I like that take, Andres. I like it. Number 74. Megalobox. And Nomad. Nomad shot this one up so much. I still can't believe how good of a sequel it is. Now that JJK, One Piece, and Chainsaw Man have become favorites, are you going to add their manga to your favorites? I've already added JJK. The rest I think I'll chill on for a little bit. Megalobox, so these 2 seasons work in tandem almost better than any 2 seasons of anything I've ever seen. It's incredible. The first season brings forth a theme, an idea, it celebrates it. The second season directly critiques upon it. The dust settles and it goes, now hold up. That shit was kind of whack in a few ways. Here's how. And it does it in the most heartbreaking, gut-punching, weighty way, without feeling out of place. It's so well done. I can't say enough good about Megalobox. It's so rent-free. Nomad was crazy. I didn't even think that we needed a second season. And then when it came about, I'm just like, holy shit. Yeah, it feels so natural. Need you on Ashta? One day. Anime didn't understand Death Note's ending. It's a misrepresentation of the manga. I like the anime better. The anime ending better. Could I see the rest of the list? It's in the VOD, Zenon. But I can quickly show you. So below this, we have... Here. You'll love Ashta no Joe. Hopefully, the bits about the audio presentation really turned me off of it. Like, the audio genuinely hurt my ears when I watched it. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it because it was genuinely, like, scratching my ears out. Try the manga. Not too interested in the manga, personally. But there's been a remaster, I think, so maybe that can mitigate it. And then this as well, Zenon. I need Arcane to creep into the top 30. It was 40-something last year, I think, right? Yeah, it's beautiful the way they do it, Dave. I can't believe how natural it feels, and like how I didn't see it coming. I feel like an idiot for not being able to see it coming. It was 40 exactly? Cool. 39, okay, either 39 or 40. Last one for this tier, Hyoka. I believe my favorite pure slice of life. Songat's in the mud? No. If something is on this list, it isn't in the mud. Are you interested in giving it a try? Oh, basically what I just said, Scarlet Kurta. If the remaster fixed the audio, then maybe one day, for sure. The trend is drops, true. Like, because new stuff keeps getting added, so there is a trend of drops. Has Gurren Lagann been ranked yet? No, it is not. The main four characters the main four characters of Hyoka, I love them all in so many different ways. They each add such a great collection of elements to the narrative that they're so lovable. Their dynamics are so endearing. The way they slowly but subtly have layers peel back and or grow, and it's so understated and real at the same time. Hyoka is the most understated like anime out there, and that's why I love it so much. Made a video about this one too. I think it's pretty good. Arcane is better on every watch, so I don't see it dropping. I mean, we had stream discussions for Arcane. And you know how those went. No worries, Scarlet Kurta. I'm totally fine repeating once in a while. Oh yeah, from minute one of Nomad, Dave, it's just so clear what's going on there and how good it is. Oh, and thank you for linking it. Dave just linked the Hyoka video. Let's do this one. Okay, number 72. The trend is drops. The trend is drops. Caitlyn, best character, so true. Caitlyn's amazing. Isn't it crazy how Arcane has like 10 characters that are all wonderful? Some of whom I will go to bat for that I think are very underrated. I'm not sure. I honestly can't answer you, Sultan. Maybe you... I'm not sure. Clicked on the wrong one, or maybe that's how that shouldn't be the case. Maybe Twitch is glitching. Twitch just might be glitching. Remember last week when you forgot that you made a Kyoso Giga video? Yeah. Yeah. Radical and Remuki, if you could please keep that to DMs or whispers. Okay, number 70. Sorry? What did you do? Oh, the Kyoso Giga? That was my fault. Do not say sorry for advertising my video and then me forgetting it. That is not your fault, Dave, trust me. Can we view this sheet? Once I'm finished, absolutely. But if you view it now, it's going to be spoiled. What's the meaning of the titles for each tier? That explains my feelings towards them in general. Number 72, The Dark Knight. Continuing the trend of drops, and let me just say that the trend of drops will not stop for a few. Still, the best, I talked about the best superhero movie. This is my favorite. We talked about Joker before. My favorite movie villain. Just generally start to finish, an amazing time. Triumph, sadness, not tons of triumph actually. Lots of grittiness and lots of sadness, and again, lamentation. But at the same time, just enough hope by the end to make it all come together in a way that isn't grim dark, you know? Bruce and Alfred? Probably S, Scully? I think an S. So was the Dark Knight in Tier 7 or the last in Tier 6? The last in Tier 6. Hey, Mr. Glara. Rated Dynamic Batman Joker, double S. Maybe going into triple. What is going on here? Oh, God. More formatting issues. Anyway, the most horrifying piece of media I've ever experienced. A big drop due to lack of emotional connection again, I guess. I just realized, like, I feel more for the stories ahead of it. It doesn't change the fact that it is a masterpiece in horror. PT is astoundingly designed. Brilliant atmosphere, brilliant concept, fantastic execution of that concept. I have nothing negative to say about it, really. The most horrifying piece of media I've ever experienced. Hold on, let me see if I can fix this. What's a triple S dynamic? Gone Killua. I hate this movie. Did you play Death Stranding? No. Hey Dog Ninja, how's it going? Just had to chase after my sister's dog who tried... Oh my god. I'm so sorry, Andres. That's genuinely terrifying. I had to do that with my dog. Guts Griffith, triple S, yep. Hinata Kageyama. I had to do that with my dog once, and it is horrifying. Wait till you play through Disco Elysium. For a triple S? Oh my gosh. This is from Donkey Kong Country 3? 2? 2. Sorry, just formatting. I think I can fix this. There we go. I fixed it. Perfect. Okay. Oh boy, the drops keep coming. Holy shit. Okay. There we go. What's your rating of Dimitri and Edelgard's dynamic? I need to reflect on it more to say with confidence. Oh, okay. Well, it was scary for me then, Andres. The giant dynamic in Haikyuu, quadruple S, based, it's triple S for me, for sure. Dimitri Edelgard, I think, I want to say double S, but it may be high, it may be getting into that territory. Okay, number 70. Hoseki no Kuni. Hyoka anime only 2? Oh yeah, Hyoka is the anime. I have not read the novel. Are you caught up? I'm one chapter behind. I didn't read the latest chapter. Has Fire Emblem's 3 Houses been listed? No, it has not. They might be for me as well, Offie. That's just, I just don't know. I can't say with confidence comparing it, but they very well might be. Yeah, so Hoseki no Kuni, my investment in the series is definitely hurt by the hiatuses. I adore the series still. I mean, it's on the list, of course. I adore Foss. They're in my top 2025 of protagonists ever. But the thing with Hoseki no Kuni is the plot is so dense, and there's so many moving pieces, and you have to keep track of it all really, really, consistently. Right? You have to keep track of it consistently. But you merge something where you have to keep yourself refreshed to it with hiatuses, and it's just so hard. It's difficult for me to keep everything under wraps and understand exactly what's going on, which definitely hurts my investment upon experiencing chapters after hiatuses. You just described the Succession War arc? Not for me. Basically Hunter x Hunter? Not for me. I could understand how that would be the case for everyone, for other people. For me, it's very easy. I mean, it's easy for me to it was easy for me to refresh. Also because I think I was also doing a reread at the same time, so that helped. But I can jump into Hunter x Hunter easily. If I have to reread chapters, I will. Just because Hunter x Hunter is Hunter x Hunter and me, you know. But yeah, that's how I feel about Hoseki no Kuni. Still adore it. Still adore it. Have you played Nier? Yes, and I made a video about it. It's easy for you because it lives in your head rent-free? Yeah, basically. And Hoseki no Kuni lives in my head, not rent-free enough for me to be able to remember all the plot details. Time to wait till it's finished and do another reread? Yeah, I'm thinking that might be the move. Hey Raps, how's it going? Nier is potentially on here. Nier was in the top 20 last list. Number 69. Nice. We just talked about A Rap's Revenge. It recently came back from one. It has a lot of hiatuses, which explains the drop. R.I.P. Mindhunter. David Fincher's my favorite director. Fantastic. R.I.P. in that it's not being continued for a third season. I love it. I love the delves into darkness. I love the societal bits you get from the era of criminology, sort of the roots of criminology being, the seeds of criminology being planted, and how that integrated with society at the time, and how a lot of things were taboo. Getting into the mindsets of all the characters who are antagonistic. All that stuff is so up my alley. Holden's an amazing, amazing protagonist for delving into that sort of thing and how it can affect someone's psyche. It's beautifully shot. The characters are great. Antagonists are great. It's just top to bottom, top class. Ed Kemper, amazing. And I'm very bummed. I'm very bummed that it won't get a third season. Number 68. This one's a big nostalgia one. So the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean films, they're just fun personified. The second best pirate media at the moment for me. The one I connect with the second most. Yeah, the official AG Pirate Media top 3. I'm surprised by how genuinely good the first 2 Pirates movies are. The third fell off. I disagree. I think the third has the most flaws, but I wouldn't say it followed off at all. I think it has some of the highest highs. There's like 20 minutes could be shaved off it. Black Sails on the list? Black Sails, yeah, that was top 30 before. How's it going? MK? Welcome in. Where are we stopping? I'm not sure. We might try to aim for 50. A little birdie told me Great Ace Attorney made the list. It did. We got it at 85. And I big time gushed about it. Just like Endwalker. How's it going, Koyu? Koyulfaz? How's it going? Welcome in. I'm the bird. I figured. And Walker could probably use an extra 20 minutes? Oh. Interesting. The dice scene is awesome. Davy Jones, fantastic character. Jack Sparrow, great character. I like Will Turner a lot. Captain Barbossa. Elizabeth. Cutler Beckett. Genuinely great thematic antithesis. Lots of awesome characters. Props to Pirates of the Caribbean for making pirates again during a time when they were seen as more like a cringy trope. Yeah, they made them cool again. They made them cool again. The Last of Us top 20? We'll see. Nora greater than Polly in terms of birds? Fair. You know what? It would take a lot to be higher than Polly, but I think Nora wins. Very fair. I would agree. Yeah, and the new movies, they fell off for me. They were nowhere near as imaginative or good. Speaking of falling off, wow. The trends continue. I don't really have an explanation for this other than, just overall lessening of an emotional connection, but... Fight Club, number 67. Still adore it. Still one of my favorite movies, but, I don't know, I have a little bit of an emotional block from it these days. Yeah. Biggest drop so far, yeah. 34... Yeah, next biggest is Into the Spider-Verse. AJ and his movie hater arc. We've been new. Horrible medium. Movies are mid-based, thank you. Let's just not talk about it. I remember when it was top 1 film. I mean, to be fair, it's still like my... It's still in my, like, top 5 or 6. I bet it's going to be the biggest drop in the list. Let's see if it is. Well, the biggest drop in the list is Harry Potter not being there. But if we're considering ones that are still there, we'll see. It's a big one. I love it, Kylov. Yeah, not counting Harry Potter, exactly. You gotta experience some more films. I think I'm experiencing the perfect amount of film that I need to experience. Life is so busy, right? You can only prioritize so much. At the moment, I'm prioritizing video games a lot, and work, obviously, the streaming and videos and my other work. There just isn't time for movies. That's just how it goes. But I'm happy with that decision. I'm really happy. I'm very honored, Verver. With all these drops begs the question, which series will make the biggest addition? It does, doesn't it? Do you have a favorite medium? I think it's video games. I think it's video games. I can only play games now. I feel that to an extent. Some anime, for me, Nora, is a little tough. Have you seen There Will Be Blood? Yes, but I haven't seen it in, like... I haven't rewatched it in years. So it's not on here, because for things that I haven't rewatched in, like, years and years, that I have no semblance of a confident opinion on, I just don't put them on here as a principle. That's why Godfather isn't here, for example. What's up, Critty? Would you be interested in taking movie recommendations after the video game period? Oh, I've got tons already. But thank you. Yeah, I've got a backlog of them. But if I do, I'll definitely ask. Any books outside of A Song of Ice and Fire and Harry Potter made it to this list? You'll have to wait and see. Critty was experiencing some peak yesterday. Now this one, I wasn't expecting this, but this one actually went up. Feelings really help, eh? Emotions, actual emotions, having emotional connection to things. Because Supernatural, after last year's list, I'm like, it could go in a free fall. It could go on a free fall. But I rewatched certain episodes, I thought about it, and I'm like, no, it means way too much to me. The first 5 seasons are just so good, and those are still filled with flaws. I always joke about... Hold on. Okay, are you guys okay if I spoil a line from Season 4's finale? Can I spoil it? Because it's hilarious. It's a hilarious flaw of the show. It's good. It's good, Andres. It's good. Okay, I don't mind? Okay. Okay, so Supernatural... The things I love about it, one of the most beautiful familial relationships ever. Like, best dynamics, so many emotions, some really interesting plotting, a great plan for the first 5 seasons, a great ramping up of the plot and expanding of the mythos. It's just great. It's all those things are spot on. But the thing I will say is the dialogue is sometimes so cringy. The dialogue is so bad. I have no plans of watching it. Perfect. So the dialogue's so bad. So, okay, let me set the stage for you guys. In Season 4, one of the best episodes in the whole series, one of the characters has been manipulated subtly, well, and not so subtly in some ways, by a demon, and has gone against his brother, and he's betrayed him, and it's heartbreaking, and it's a huge slippery slope thing, and we see this guy we love who falls into the dark side, to simplify, and it's awful and gutting and awesome. It's an awesome episode. However, so basically there are 66 seals to unlock hell, to break hell to break the seals of Lucifer loose, and he's been manipulated into breaking them. And Lucifer is literally being sprung from his cage, like he's literally coming out of hell. All this shit's going down, and the demon who manipulated him goes, like, you did it, you opened the door, you opened the door for him, and he's going, holy shit, no, I didn't mean to do this, blah, 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 and then she goes, and she's like, you always had the potential, blah, 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 and then she goes, what? I don't know, I don't remember the exact line, but it's like, I just nudged you in the right direction, but you had the wings the entire time, Dumbo. It's like, you had the wings to fly the entire time, Dumbo. Like, hell is being unleashed. Hell is being unleashed upon them. Lucifer is rising up from the ground. He's coming. And this demon goes, you had the wing the whole time, Dumbo. I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly. But she makes a Dumbo reference when Satan! Don't... I feel like writing 101 is don't reference Dumbo when Satan's being resurrected. Right? That's peak? You're right. I'm not enlightened. It's just Satan. Who's Jesus in Supernatural? You'll have to watch it. Whoopsie. Yeah. Eric Kripke is the head writer for the first 5 seasons. For anyone who doesn't know, it's really good. Genuinely, though, like, I'm gonna be the first to admit Supernatural's flaws. That Castiel Dean, like, this is only seasons 1 to 5, so that Castiel Dean scene at the end isn't part of this, but that, holy shit, I cannot believe that scene. Anyway, but Eric Kripke is the head writer of the first 5 seasons, who is the creator of The Boys, for anyone who doesn't know. Here comes a little goofball. Exactly, Dog Ninja. Let us know when Supernatural spoilers are over, because someone muted to avoid... Oh, they're done. They're done now. Yeah, Supernatural spoilers are done. He did, MK. Might be going against writing 101, but that's the CW difference, baby. It is. That's fair. That's fair. So you can just stop after Season 5? Honestly, I think you can. I honestly think Season 5 works as an ending. Okay, number 65. This is fun. The Boys is definitely fun. The Boys ranges from some really cool stuff, really great stuff with Homelander, to like reprehensibly disgusting scenes. Like I've felt sick watching The Boys sometimes. But hey, they don't hold back. They're shameless, and you got to respect it. Yeah, Andres. Great ending too. I love Swan Song. Swan Song's amazing. 10 out of 10 AJ line. Oh, here we go. Let's hear this. What do you got for me, Nora? Don't. I feel like writing 101 is don't reference Dumbo when Satan's being resurrected. Don't. I feel like writing 101 is don't reference Dumbo when Satan's being resurrected. That's a good one. This may need to be a bit alert. This may need to be a bit alert. "101? Maybe. I think we have one for 666. Let's see. Yeah, we do. Why does he just... Oh boy, yeah, that's a great one. We can't move that one. Are you sure you didn't go to film school? You're putting all the professors there to shame? I'm just speaking my truth, you know? Blow Me is great. Blow Me is 250. We got some good ones on there. Number 65, we got another new addition. Whoops. Succession, awesome series. It was a slow burn on me. I dropped it, actually. I dropped it at first. The first 5 episodes, I just wasn't feeling it, or maybe 3 or 4. I wasn't feeling it. I thought it was boring. I didn't like it. But it is just consistently super entertaining, and the overriding structure of it, like once you look at it from sort of a bird's eye view at what they're doing with the story, I think that's where you gain more and more appreciation. And the more you look into the character psychologies and where they've come from and why they think the way they do, it's really interesting. And I've described it as Shakespearean in structure, and I can't really put my, like, aside from big thematic stuff, it's inspired from King Lear. Haven't read King Lear, so I can't even comment as to the parallels there. But just in general, the character arcs are very Shakespearean. I can't really spoil, but betrayal, filial ties, usurping for interfamily politics, usurping for trying to vie for the throne, ambitions, just a lot of big thematic things and directions of arcs that feel very Shakespearean to me. It's a common take. Oh, I'm a normie. Okay. The Ushinomiya family, honestly, like, it tracks. I see it for sure. I can't believe Umineko invented Succession. Unreal. Now, in total contrast to Succession, we have the duality of man. We have Super Mario Sunshine. These two next to one another, can you believe it? Delfino carries. Delfino carries. This is why I love you. I wouldn't be me if I didn't have a very Greek tragedy-esque, slow-burning, dark, political, interfamilial thriller, and then Super Mario Sunshine. Wahoo! This is my favorite Mario platformer. Greekly tragic. Yes, indeed. Not the other way around. Sunshine's overhated? It is! You know, and I'm never gonna say that Super Mario Sunshine is a polished game. It's the least polished Mario platformer out there, easily. Like, the Chuckster? Oh boy. But oh, that's for later, Indie Lord. But it's so much fun. Delfino is so great. Delfino is one of my favorite video game settings. And like Trish says, I feel similarly, very nostalgic. This above Galaxy gives me the ick. It shouldn't. But like okay, I don't know how to take that. It's an unpopular opinion for sure, but I hold firm to it. Do I think it's better than Galaxy? No, but I definitely love it more. Thoughts on Il Piantissimo? The fastest in the land. Have you seen Chugga Conroy's Sunshine LP? It's legit P comedy. You know, another hot take. I don't actually like Chugga Conroy's Sunshine Let's Play. It's my least favorite that I've watched. What's your Mario 64 16-star? I don't know what that is, Sebastian. Because the thing with so for some Chugga Conroy lore, he's said multiple times since that Let's Play released that he was in a very difficult time of his life when he recorded it, and as a result, he forced a lot of the comedy. Yeah, I figured it was a joke, Sebastian. It went over my head. My bad. He says he himself doesn't like it because it was a difficult point in his life. He said he was forcing a lot of jokes, a lot of scenarios to try to make it seem funny, and I have immense sympathy for that, but because of that context, I tried to rewatch it, and I can see that all over the place. I can see that all over the place in that LP, and that makes it a little painful to watch, because you can kind of see it seeping through. I think in the way some of the comedy's forced. That's just my take. Hey, Joshua, can't wait for Age's top 1 Legend of the Galactic Empire. Indeed. Welcome in, we're in the mid-60s now. And now, number 63, a topical game. He does, Dog Ninja. I would love that. I would love him to do Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake. FF14, Katamari Damacy? The Room? Oh yeah, if that's your goal, Kingslayer, definitely not advisable for sure. Disco already? Peak game design. Peak game design. My third favorite Zelda, one of my favorite games of all time in general. And honestly, the only thing that holds this back from being higher is a little bit of a lack of... How do I put this? A bit too much of a reliance on subtext when it comes to the narrative, I think. A little bit more of plot focus would make it higher. But that's just a tiny complaint, and why it has a slightly lower ceiling than the ones above it. Still, borderline masterpiece, absolutely wonderful, had such a blast playing it, cannot wait for Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, I think Tears of the Kingdom will definitely have more of the story at the forefront. Thank you for the follow, Oz. Kefka as a character greater than Breath of the Wild as a game? That turns my brain in knots, Offie. I don't know. I don't know how to compare a character to a game. Maybe? I don't know. You should have said something about the weapon durability or bad dungeons. I don't agree, though. Weapon durability can get annoying once in a while, I guess. I like the dungeons. I like them a lot. I agree. I think weapon durability is mostly good. Once in a while it can get annoying, but overall definitely a net positive for me. Reminds me of when somebody asked me who I love more, Kumagawa or Ava. Well, to me, when you put it that way, like, it's definitely Ava, right? For you? Weapon durability discourse is unhinged. Yeah. There, like, I don't remember the year, but there was a year where it felt like it was all that people talked about. Maybe it was pretty close to, it was pretty soon after the release of Breath of the Wild, that where people were talking about that all over the damn place. Was Joseph Anderson's video Breath of the Wild not enough Zelda or something like that? I don't even know what he talked about in there, but people would reference that video all the time. I love the weapon durability. Yeah, I think it's a net positive. I believe I recall Kane correcting you on their pronunciation of the name, and in light of that, I have a confession to make. Oh no. Okay, how do you pronounce Ophi? Is it Ophi? Is it Afai? Me too, Sagludo. I feel that way too. Ophi. Okay, I've been saying Offie this whole time. Alright, Afai Burger. Alright, Afai Berger. Okay, rewire my brain. Ophi Kane. Perfect, we got it. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, that's my video on Breath of the Wild. Kami Burger. Breath of the Wild is already super cracked, but it's all just set up for Tears of the Kingdom peak. It's the lead. I don't want to spoil too much because Critty's just started it, only a few hours in, but they're cooking. The funniest kind of discourse to me is magical girl color discourse. People in pre-Cure fandom fight tooth and nail over whether a character is blue or teal or green. Really? That's wild. Why do people die on those sorts of hills? Hamburger du Ophiline. Where are the bets? Well, that delayed them even more. It is a jam, Indie Lord. No, the bets, we'll have a bet for 60 and 61. What's your GOAT 2D platformer? People fight over canon eye colors? I don't understand. I don't understand. Celeste? Maybe Celeste? Okay, Kyloff, see you later. Have a good one. Canon JoJo palettes? Ugh. It might be Celeste. It might be Celeste. I don't know. 2D platformers don't tend to be super high up in my favorites. Yoshi's Island or Celeste, how about? Yeah, Celeste is great. It's great. I love the story of Celeste. I remember thinking Nagant was gonna have turquoise hair with green highlights, and then Hori made her purple with pink highlights. I like the purple and pink. I like it. Anyways, 62. Violet Evergarden. The rewatch, my Violet Evergarden rewatch was one of the most emotional experiences of, like, anything. I literally cried almost every single episode. Almost every single one. KyoAni, yeah. It just hit. One of the weirdest criticisms for this for me is people saying, like, and I'm not trying to invalidate the feelings that these people had. I'm just trying to say that I can't understand it. The weirdest thing that I've seen about Violet Evergarden is that it's it tries too hard to make you feel and is artificial as a result. Crybait kind of connected with that. Guess so, Ophi, excuse me, Ophi. Violet in the Mud. Because to me, yeah, I disagree, and I don't even understand where it really comes from. But I guess that's just a way of it explaining why I wouldn't connect with someone. Because it just feels like, I don't know, it's so there's so many layers to the presentation. It's so polished. It's one of the best looking things ever. That maybe it can feel overproduced to some people because there's so many elements coming at you to try to appeal to your emotion. I don't know. I just never really understood it. Like I said, no shade on anyone who thinks it, but it's just always felt weird to me. It's always been because I've never, even when I didn't like Violet that much, I didn't really get that. I hear the same argument in Your Lie in April. I hear it in Your Lie in April. My problems with that series are nowhere completely removed from that. What made it drop? I don't know. I don't like it any less. Just I think things came in ahead of it. New additions and such. The point of stories is to make people feel things. Yeah, I guess that's just the way they... the way some people like to articulate why, or try to explain why they weren't able to feel things. I don't know. I don't really want to get into that, if that's okay, Sebastian. Number 61. What is your opinion on Made in Abyss? You can check my anime list for summaries of each of the seasons. Overall, very good show. Number 6. Oh, bedtime. Yeah, no worries, Sebastian. I think my anime list might be able to... Wait, let me see. What did I put for Your Lie in April on there? Because I haven't checked my tags for it in, like, years. Okay, yeah. Your answer's basically in my tags, Sebastian. Okay, number 61. This is a cool one. All right. Vinland Saga or Vagabond? Yeah, these are some great bets, eh? Let me just put it up there before reading what Critty said about Violet, because it looked really interesting. Vinland Saga or Vagabond? I'll give you guys 2 minutes. Which, again, you're voting for the lower one, is number 61. You're an agent of chaos, my friend. Just like so many of my favorite jesters. I actually think Violet is rather subtle in using body language and subtext in its emotional storytelling, and when I think of trying too hard to be emotional, I think of characters yelling at each other, hugging each other, bursting into tears, but Violet isn't like that at all. Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with production, somehow. Just a knee-jerk reaction to the production, maybe. Why would you do this? I am low-key sadistic. A little low-key sadistic, a little quirky, you may say. That's awesome that you have them right next to each other, right? The Gill Core, right next to one another. I voted the wrong one. Oh no. Oh no. I'm really glad that Three Houses hasn't come up yet. It means a big rise. Where was it last time? Do you remember, Sebastian? I could check, actually. I can just check myself. In the 70s? That sounds about right. 74? I mean, hell of a drop, eh? Hell of a drop. Okay, what did you guys vote? 72. Cool. Beautiful. Look at these bets. These bets are beautiful. I love it. 50-50. 50% say Vinland Saga, 50% say Vagabond. I'll let the last ones filter through before answering. Now 51. Oh god, the last ones are coming in. Damn, the balance is ruined. Okay, 52% say Vinland Saga, 48% say Vagabond. I can't say I've heard much about it, Sebastian, so not yet, but maybe eventually, if I hear some more about it. You're right, Ophi, I'm so negative. It's been in the subtext all along. Me, the subtext merchant, using subtext to explain to you my characterization? Okay, the answer here is Vagabond. Great split. Great split. My phone went out of battery, so now I'm watching on a school computer. Oh, the commitment verver with an alt too? Beautiful. Thank you. I'm honored. Is AJ Core? I voted the wrong one. Listen, I'd like to say I have sympathy for you guys, but we've been doing this for more than a year. It's never changed. When you rank Vinland, do you consider the first 100 chapters? Do you just consider it? No, I consider it in totality. I let it be weighed down. Because, okay, I'm glad you don't care. Perfect. Because, yeah, if Vinland Saga just... It would be higher if the rest of the... Because I am one of those normies who thinks that the quality declines quite a bit after Farmland, personally. It's from masterpiece out of this world to good, you know? So that weighs it down a little bit. But nonetheless, watching the anime for some of the Farmland stuff, and I've been connecting with Thorfinn more now than ever before. This story means so much to me. It's so good. Oh, I'm glad, Trish. That's awesome. Are you caught up? Yeah, I'm not completely caught up. I'm like 5 or 6 chapters behind. Does the Vinland Saga anime make you like it more than Vagabond? I don't think so. I think it just reminded me of how much it means to me. Didn't know you were comparing anime to manga? I'm not. Well, I'm comparing stories in general. Like... So yeah, I guess I am. Because, like, Vagabond's next to Violet Evergarden, for example, right? Would you say Farmland is better than Prologue? Yes. And The Rise. Tier 5 approaching? Perhaps. Oh, whoa. Hold on. Breath of the Wild, Violet Evergarden. Holy shit, I'm such a clown. Oh my god, I screwed something up. Oh, you guys are gonna laugh at this. I'm such a clown. Oh my god. I forgot one. The bet still stands, because these two are next to each other. But I forgot one. It's another new edition. Fuck The Sopranos, I guess. Have you ever read 20th Century Boys? I read the first volume. You can check out my Anime List account for questions like this as well. Vagabond and Sopranos next to each other is so real. Gilcore is just late 50s, early 60s. I do love that they're next to each other. I do love it. Did you watch The Sopranos in the last year? Yes. So Vagabond and The Sopranos, I watched them both. I experienced them both. Pretty close to one another. Both are borderline masterpieces. Both are amazing. Use their mediums so well. Tony Soprano is one of the greatest characters out there. Seasons, I believe, 4 and 6 of The Sopranos are among my favorite ever. The ending, I never, like that last season, holy shit, of The Sopranos, I can never get it out of my mind. I can't think of Don't Stop Believing without thinking of The Sopranos now, which is never the case before. Wonderful series. I'm sorry, Nora. Because Jesse's Mask, the AJ Clown emote can be a spoiler for if I'm theorizing with One Piece stuff. You don't have the makings. You haven't got the makings of a varsity athlete. Oh, you're right. It was on the 90s. You're right. Okay. Where exactly? Oh shit, you're right. It was 91. We're deteriorating. So plus 30. To clarify, the thing with The Sopranos was I had watched it years and years ago. Then I watched the first 2 seasons, and then I did the list. Then I watched the rest, and then I did this iteration of the list. Yeah, if it's easy to unblock the AJ Clown emote. Okay, cool. Thanks, Trish. How did you find the humor of The Sopranos? It's one of the funniest shows out there. It's awesome. Not as much of an AJ Clown moment as the accidental spoiler in the antagonist list. That was horrible. My life flashed before my eyes. Is Sopranos the biggest rise then? Yeah, so far. Yup. You'd love to see it. But yeah, Villain Saga I already talked about. Vagabond. Yoshioka. Holy shit. I don't know. There's something about Vagabond. Like, someone once told me that Vagabond and Haikyuu share the same spirit. And my life has been changed since that moment. It's a special story. It's a special story. I want to say they work in beautiful tandem, AJ, but maybe second Yoshioka? They knew exactly how to sell it to you? They did. It was while I was reading, so I didn't really need to be sold, but nonetheless, they sold me to read harder, I guess. Don't control F? I won't. He's amazing, Thousand Arrows. Exactly, Kaigu. We can use it for the last bit of the stream. Thanks for the follow, Verver. Sorry, Time Lord. I missed your love or hate from 5 minutes ago. Omokage from Hunter x Hunter Phantom Rouge. Neutral, I guess. Neutral to dislike. Anyway, Sopranos, amazing. Vagabond, amazing. Villain Saga, amazing. Number 58. Take a shot, Sarah. Final Fantasy VII. It stayed in the exact same spot. My heart jumped for a second. You 14 merchants. Well, we do have the 5.3 stream coming up. Time to drink. Final Fantasy VII. One of the most, holy shit. The flaws in both 7 and 7 Remake, there are flaws all over the place. Love them with my heart, with my whole chest, though. I love them so much. I've talked about this for 3 hours, 20 minutes, along with the remake, compared it to the remake. Don't have much to say outside of what I've already said. One of the greatest plots in video games, one of the greatest opening scenes of video games, the antagonist-protagonist dynamic, iconic for a reason. I think the localization, translation problems do scupper it quite a bit. I think it dilutes some of the character work, which is unfortunate. I think some of the... there's some out-of-character moments, some weird discrepancies and inconsistencies of characterization, which lower the experience a little bit, but nonetheless, still iconic for a reason, still means so much to me. Tone is great, the pacing is really good. The pacing in Final Fantasy VII is one of the greatest strengths. Yeah, 7 and Remake are definitely two different entities. This does not include Remake. Did you pay a lot of attention to the Heavensward story? Yeah, definitely. Do you have any intention of playing Xenogears? Yes. I've gotten 15 to 20 hours into it. I plan to continue for sure. You feeling optimistic about Rebirth story? Very much so. I have tons of trust. And the little glimpses we've got only serve to increase that trust. Damn, Dave, you are on it with the videos. Thank you so much. Do you count Crisis Core in this as well? No, I don't. But, like, the story implications that Crisis Core imparts upon 7, like all the stuff that happens and the meaning it has within the narrative of 7, I do count. But that's exclusive to 7 regardless, right? Poor FF10. Wasn't even thinking of how it hadn't come up by now. It's not on the list. Oh. Poor FF10 indeed. Next. Do you want to... we won't do another bet so soon. We just had one. Number 57. Yeah, no worries, Dave. That's perfect. We were just talking about it? Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Hell of a rise. As I kind of remembered how beautifully constructed the themes are and how great so many of the cast are. This is one of the greatest video game casts. In general, no specific route. Amazing, beautiful game. Edelgard's my favorite character, but Dimitri, he's right up there. They're basically neck and neck. Top 5 Three Houses characters. Okay. Edelgard, Dimitri, Claude, Ferdinand, and Felix. Now, this game has lots of stupidity. So much stupidity. There are some problems with the way the story is constructed and presented. It gets so dumb. It gets so dumb. Rhea would be 6th. Rhea would be 6th to be just to key you in on who would be next. Dimitri doesn't kill, he murders. Yes, the presentation and cutscenes, they're not polished. They don't look great. But the character work is just fantastic, so yeah, the presentation can be janky. It's very clearly not a finished game in that way. Who's your dancer? I think Mercedes one, Dorothea in another, and maybe like I forget the last one. Exactly, Dog Ninja. Engage Polish with 3 Houses, unreal. But there are story scenarios where I'm not going to say it because it's a big spoiler, but there is a huge turning point in the story that happens, and it's so contrived. I just can't believe it. It's unbelievable to me that they thought that writing this would make sense. And then you contrast that with some of the other writing, and it's like, holy shit, it's a 180 in quality. Nonetheless, overall, it has one of my favorite casts in video games. The whole crest system, the way the theme is integrated into the different perspectives and routes. There's a lot of redundancy in the routes, which is another huge problem. They literally encourage you to play each route, but to do so, you have to go through hours of content you've already played, which is so dumb. Yeah, it had a 15-spot jump, and we're clowning on it. I do love this game. Look at its jump, but it has lots of problems for sure, without a doubt. I think Three House has my favorite cast in fiction, possibly based. Did you play Engage? Yes. And yes, like Trish just links right there. You can check my backlog if you're interested in seeing what I've played. It's a shame, because at least it's one of the best scenes ever, but it's so sad they couldn't have executed it better. We might be talking about different ones, but I do think there are multiple scenes like that. There are 2 I can think of. I'm not looking. I see nothing, Trish. Do, do, do. Okay. Hold on, we're in formatting hell again. You know what? It's fine. There's a tier in between 58 and 57. Fire Emblem... 3 Houses. You interested in the Hell's Paradise anime? Yes, I'm going to be watching it. Beautiful. Okay. So there's a tier between 58 and 57. When we were talking about something you made a video on, can I pin the link so everyone can see the link for the video? Sure, that's fine. Good idea. Oh yes. So that's the second one I was thinking of, Ophi. That's the second one I was thinking of. I was also thinking of an earlier one too. What Fire Emblem game that you played has had the best game? I guess maybe Engage? Yeah, I agree with that, Brandroid. Has SpongeBob been ranked yet? Nope. We have not had SpongeBob on the list. What's up, Tyke? I guess it has. I'm so sorry to disappoint you. People were already saying that I've disappointed you with the film drop-offs. This is Sebastian. This is that one. Number 56? I mean, Jesse's Math just mentioned it. Final Fantasy X. The font is different, is it? Oh. Another shot for Meruhisu. AJ really is Persona 5 champing, I just realized. Ooh. I'm off that mid, I'm sorry. Ooh. Such a great song. Final Fantasy X has arguably the setting of 10, Spira, and the way it connects with the themes and the journeys of the characters and how Tidus plays into that. It's just beyond words to me. And how it's just executed to the nth degree. They squeeze every bit they can out of this premise. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I will never stop loving this game. The presentation can be janky. Some of the corridoring is not great. The voice acting is bad in places, because like literally some of the lines from the voice actors, because they had to fit the lines into a set amount of time, that was the time used to record the Japanese words, which takes much less time to be able to say more things. Japanese language tends to be much more efficient. Because of that, the English voice actors had to fit it in a very sort of archaic way. So like, if a line comes across in Final Fantasy X that's, you can do it, sometimes the characters just go like, you can do it. You can do it. Just because they have to squeeze it in there. They have to say it really fast. Oh, and yes, the Tidus laugh is a great scene. It's awesome. And it's actually very indicative of the whole spirit and themes of the game. Yeah, I don't actually agree that the characters have issues, Jesse's Mask. Maybe a little bit of some Lulu stuff here and there. Kimari is... well, he is what he is. It is a pretty emotional theme, I agree. Can't you play it in Japanese then? Not on this, because they... you don't have the ability to switch on it. for the English release, for the Western release. Thoughts on Waka? Great character. Awesome character. Like, people kind of meme about him because of his popularity, his, like, memeable popularity in Japan. He's one of the best characters in 10. And a great example of embedded dogma and how it can lead for someone who's a good person at heart to adopt such a horrifying mindset. And the sort of deconstructing of it over time and being able to trying to ease him out of that is so gratifying. And seeing him try his best to get out of that is so good. I think Waka is my 4th favorite character in the game. Thoughts on Blitzball? Not great. As a gameplay mechanic, not great. As a story mechanic, kind of low-key genius. Exactly, Sebastian. Same top 4? Awesome. Next, we have a bit of a rise. See, we're getting into some rises now. I like it. I'm specifying Blue Period's manga here because the anime, oh boy. Oh boy. The manga is one of the most expressive, beautifully presented, poetic pieces of craftsmanship out there. The anime is... Take your time if we're about to get into 14. I'm about to be free. We'll see if it's there. The blue period anime is the opposite of Peak Fishing Kino, oh boy. Yes. Do the numbers and arrows mean that they've gone up? Yes, exactly, Melia. I remember the deleted tweet. What deleted tweet? What? What's the issue with the anime? It doesn't move. And even given that it doesn't move, the character designs are very, very inconsistent all the time. There's no dynamism to the direction. There's no capturing of the beautiful creative spirit that is so embedded into the presentation of the manga that also connects thematically with Yatura's journey. It's just dead. There's no flair. There's no flow. It's just dead scene after dead scene and no replication of the spirit and dynamism that makes the presentation of the manga so engaging. Thoughts on Yatura saying I wasn't the king? Peak. It's peak. Would you say Blue Period's anime is piece of shit tier? Yeah. I know you're enjoying the Blue Lock anime, but unfortunately I kind of felt the same about it before I dropped it. Okay, are we talking about Blue Lock or Blue Period now? I can't tell where the memes end. I can't tell. It does the absolute bare minimum as an adaptation. I don't even think it reaches that, personally. Also, hello, Safa. I vastly prefer the manga. Yeah, but for what Dark Side? What are we talking about? Blue Period or Blue Lock? I can't tell if we're joking or not. Where was this last time? Oh, okay. I have it right there. I'm dumb. Say one nice thing about Kinemi Miki. Oh, I really like her, but I never call her by name, so for some reason seeing it written out in that way was jarring to me. I think she's a great aspirational example in a couple of ways about the type of person Yatura wants to aspire to be like, while also being very human and grounded at the same time. And I really appreciate that. Oh, I said Blue Lock, and okay, all right. I was okay. Dark Side, sorry. I was just confused about why we're talking about Blue Lock at all. I thought we were just memeing. Gotcha. I gotcha. Are you caught up? Yes, I'm caught up. The latest chapters are so good. I love them. I made a tweet about them a couple weeks ago. And thank you, Sarah. Really, Jesse's Mask? That's hilarious. Oh, but yeah, I've gushed about Blue Period for ages before. It is the perfect encapsulation of a young artist journey, a journey of expression, the flaws and insecurities and peaks and valleys that come with it, as well as being a look into, it's kind of similar to the Tatami Galaxy in a couple ways, the life of a young adult and finding yourself and your identity and purpose at this very formative point of your life, but also has some elements of like Haikyuu or Run with the Wind. Run with the Wind is actually very, very similar to Blue Period thematically. Oh, like I just said, Scully C, the adaptation is dog shit. It's funny because it originally came to me. Yeah, the tweet. Definitely read the manga, Scully. Okay. Would AJ like Sinnoh? I don't even know how to pronounce that. Tyke, all I know is I swear you tweet about that every week, and just that alone, just the sheer amount of volume of your tweets about that makes me think I'd really like it. There you go, Dog Ninja. Go for it. Thanks, Critty. Enjoy your peak fiction. I hope you continue to enjoy it as much as you did yesterday. I can place Final Fantasy XIV perfect. Okay, now 53. 53 is Durarara. A little bit of a drop for Durarara. Tiny drop, not indicative of really anything. I still love it as much as I always have. Okay, let's do the real 54, shall we? Bioshock. It would be Andres, it would be. Ditto a lot of the things I said when we talked about Andrew Ryan. Gil was loving it and then went radio silence for 10 months. Get him back on it. Dude, that was amazing. Bioshock Rise, yes indeed. Bioshock is genius, honestly. Bioshock, the way in which it tells the setting-based storytelling, the integration of audio logs to put the story together, and actually over time it establishes character arcs for individual characters and illustrates the rise and fall of Andrew Ryan, the what happened with Fontaine, Tenenbaum. Tenenbaum's a great character. A lot of the workers in and around Rapture and their quarrels and how they grapple with their own principles as they do things that go against what they really believe in. And then the ideological stuff, how brittle our ideologies can be when it comes to, and how hypocritical we can get when it becomes life or death. And how the Bioshock is not a critique of capitalism. I've said this before. It's not a critique of capitalism as much as what happens when humans are placed in the theories within the constraints. When capitalism is placed within the constraints of humanity, when you add humans to the equation, that is the problem. Randian philosophies as well. Just any extremes. You place humans there, and that's where the theory goes out of whack, because humans are horrific. And like the creators have outright said this, that it's more an examination of how humans can make ideologies go askew than any given ideology. Did 14 make the list, or 15 make the list? No. Sorry. Are you going to play the new game from the Bioshock creator? Probably. Every Ken Levine thing I've played has been, at the very least, good, so. I don't know how I feel about that. About what? Is Durarara for me? It might be. Ayn Rand is very cringe. Objectivism, quite cringe. At least, if you read parts of Atlas Shrugged, it's wild, some of the things that are on there. IMO. But I don't want to get too deep into that. The whole Randian philosophy thing? What about it, though, Nora? Kim Kitsuragi is my big daddy. Perfect. I don't either, Andres. I have no clue. Did you know that Steve Ditko, the co-creator of Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, was an objectivist? Nope. Oh, capitalism isn't the problem. Humans are the real monsters. Yeah, it's a very political piece of work. Just to clarify, I don't want to try to say that my wording of their message is the intent. So take this with a grain of salt. But Ken Levine has straight out said that the game isn't examining or critiquing upon any given system. So just to be clear, he's not saying that capitalism isn't the problem and that humans are the real monsters. He's saying that humans put into any... You drop humans into any extreme ideology and things are going to go wild. It doesn't say that capitalism isn't the problem. It just intentionally doesn't say that it is a problem, regardless of what they may think. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't want to misconstrue the interview there. Kim is awesome. He's my favorite character, Sebastian. To you, Kim seems like anti-Andres Core to me. I come in, get a normal ad, can watch for 10 seconds, and then get another ad. Twitch is scuffed. Sorry. Okay. I just said it out loud. Undertale and Deltarune. And this one has not moved. BioShock kind of makes the point that no matter what system is put into place, people will always be there to exploit it and corrupt while there are flaws with the system. Yeah, and I think BioShock 2 kind of gives you the full picture of that. Systems are there to be exploited, is basically the theme, rather than this system is okay, this one isn't okay, is more or less what I'm trying to get across. Is Undertale a 10 or a strong 9? Well, my backlog ain't lying. How's Disco Elysium so far? It's so much fun, Tyke. It's so much fun. It's so rich. The dialogue's so great. The setting is awesome. The music bangs. It's awesome. I really like it so far. So Undertale and Deltarune. They're wonderful. I put them together because, to me, they fall into the same sort of feel, the same sort of mythos. They might be more directly connected than we really know so far. Either way, I categorize them together personally. I like Undertale quite a bit more than Deltarune at this moment, but it's cohesive with it. Undertale is just this beautiful, complete story with so much to say about gaming in general. The meta aspect of it is so absolutely wonderful. Such a great cast. Azrael, Sans, Asgore, Chris, just top to bottom, every character has a role. It never feels out of place, and it always, despite how quirky and silly it can get, it always feels on point. I like Undertale, never tried Deltarune because it wasn't finished. Should I try it? I mean, that's up to you, Isaiah. Because if you can wait, then I guess wait. But, like, I mean, either way you intend to play it. So it's up to you about whether or not you'll be able to hold out. But remember, Sebastian, scores across mediums are different for me, right? Deltarune has best game of all time potential. I don't know if I go that far, but it definitely has like genuine no holds barred masterpiece potential. It was a cool suggestion, Joe Yabuki. If someone sends it to me, if someone sends that one to me, I can add it to the Discord. But I don't think I don't think I'm gonna put it in the Twitch. Are you doing the whole list today? Two people asked that right now. No, we're not gonna do the whole list today. We're gonna end pretty soon. Maybe after this tier will end. Yeah, after this tier will end. So, number 51. One less... I don't think I have a good bet. Have you considered reading the Higurashi visual novel? I've considered it, but I don't... my conclusion was ultimately that I don't want to. Umineko or Undertale OST? Umineko. Oh, Sans is amazing. Elijah, totally agree. Thank you for having real... You're very welcome, Ophi. What do you think of shows that primarily rely on comedy? All down to the execution. Same as with most things. All down to the execution. If it can nonetheless lead to emotional investment in some way, if it can be consistently enjoyable, totally cool. Totally cool. I have a few favorites that rely primarily on comedy. Speaking of which, it is wild. It is wild, that timing. And it is wild how much SpongeBob actually holds up, you know? Bob L'Eponge? Seriously. I could watch any of the episodes from the first 3 seasons and thoroughly enjoy it start to finish. It is so clever and fresh and fun, and the characters are so endearing, and it delves into some genuinely very kind of heavy stuff in little moments. It's just awesome. It's just so good. I've been consistently, throughout the years, worried that, it won't hold up if I go back to it. It's just a childhood thing that I won't connect to anymore. No. I have nostalgia for it, of course, but it's genuinely great. I think you accidentally added a 5 in there. You're right, sorry. Just outside the top 50. You don't want these... You don't want these pies. They were made in a factory. A bomb factory. Including the first movie? I like the first movie. I guess you could include it, but I wasn't thinking of it when I put it in here. Okay. Last couple for today's stream. Maybe, Nora. Like I said, a lot of it is dependent on my nostalgia as well. And then I was just overjoyed that it still holds up. But, I don't know, maybe. It would be interesting to see someone who's never watched it before, and then as an adult experiencing it for the first time. I always hated it! Welcome in, Dom. Next on the list... Is mayonnaise an instrument? Beautiful series. One of my favorite cyberpunk series. Dense thematically, great cast, very emotional moments throughout. Episode 16 is an all-timer. One of the very best characters in anime manga in Makishima. Fantastic protagonist. But also my mom didn't like Promare, so clearly no Very fair, very fair. I thought you were still talking about SpongeBob when you said one of my favorite cyberpunk series. SpongeBob, like my favorite cyberpunk series, right up there is right up there with all the dystopian futures. SpongeBob. It's very derivative in that way. I agree, Elijah. It is very reminiscent of lots of things like 1984, yeah, Blade Runner, dystopian sci-fi stuff, but very much having its own identity as well. Nora's mom is based, regardless of disliking Promare. I love the Keanu Reeves cameo. Why only season 1? Does it fall off afterwards? I don't like season 2, and season 3 is pretty good, but not to this level. Bikini Bottom's clearly post-nuclear war. Yeah, Bikini Bottom is post-apocalypse. Yeah, season 2 is just not good, IMO. I hope you enjoy it, Gensuki. Like the fact that Makishima, yeah. I love that. He kind of like, Elijah, he kind of dwells, he kind of is in the in-between. You know, never settling in one place, working within the system to try to exploit it in that way, not accounted for. And that also ties into his lack of belonging and his disillusionment with humanity's place in the world and how they've been, by his perspective, ostracized, I guess. Phased out. You played Persona 5, aka the best JRPG? I made 2 videos about it. Do you plan to read Syconia sometime? Not sure what that is. Oh, is that When They Cry? Is that part of the When They Cry series? If it is, I think I've heard of it. Welcome back, Santi. Syconia is okay. Yeah. I don't plan to read it. Oh yeah, John Shar. I got out of SpongeBob after like season 5. It is Sebastian. I will cry real tears if 14 is above Persona 5. What about if it's like 100 spots below? I've heard of Critical Role Dark Side. I've talked to people who enjoy it. It seems very cool for me, but just unfortunately seems like something I might just miss out on just because of time, you know? Now, speaking of what Trish said, the second last one for today recently saw the movie in theaters. Beautiful, wonderful, makes me laugh, smile, cry, makes me happy. Shout out to Nora's mom. Shout out to all the supportive moms. Indeed, Isaiah. I got scared because I almost forgot what I said. Oh God, Ophi. I mean, I played a couple of D&D campaigns, Andres. It's never been super my thing. If only your popcorn was in 2169. Oh my God. Nora, I had almost forgotten about it. Does anyone want context for that? Does everyone here have context for the 2169? Because I can explain it if need be. I can embarrass myself again. But if you guys know already, I don't have to say anything. Okay. Oh no, there are lots of people without context. Okay. So what happened was I went to see the Kaguya-sama movie, right? I went to see it, and popcorn and snacks and stuff at movie theaters in Canada, at least, is super horrifically expensive, but that's besides the point. I bought a large popcorn with butter on it, and I got some snacks and a drink, and I was like, yeah, let's head into the cinema. Let's watch some peak rom-com. And so the price came out to $21.69. Okay? Yeah, this is the story. That's what the price came out to. And it comes up on the register, so it shows me the price. I'm giggling already. I'm cringing already. Canadian dollars, yes. Yes. And oh no, I don't think it's what you think it is. Perfect storytelling song. You called the cops? No, not this time. So that was the price. And so I look at the register, it shows it to me, and for some reason, $21.69 in my mind converted through the filter of my dumbass brain to $11.69. So in my brain, the 2 was a 1, and I owed them $11.69. 88 implicit. So I'm like, okay, $11.69, you got it, $11.69. Here you go, here's a 20. So I give him a $20 bill, and I'm just standing there. I'm just waiting for my popcorn. I'm just like, and he's just standing there too, looking at me. And he goes, "Do you have 169?" And in my mind, I'm just like, this guy, the audacity. He wants me to give him exact change so he can give me back a 10. Yeah, because he was too lazy to go through the cash register to get the damn change. So I'm like, 169. I don't have 169, sorry. So I told him that, and he's like, then you're gonna have to put something back. And I said, wait, I have to put something back because I don't have exact change for you? And he said, no, no, you're not paying me enough. I'm like, oh shit, oh no. Oh my god. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I've never been more sorry in my life. I'm like, I am so sorry. This is the most genuine I've been in my life. Kaguya-sama really is about misunderstandings. It is. And I just went, I'm so sorry. Here. And I just like I throw in my wallet. You take it all. I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. I just kept apologizing. I'm like, I'm such an idiot. Holy shit. How embarrassing is it to have to retell the story? It's embarrassing, but I really enjoy laughing at myself. So it's all right. And I like that you guys enjoy it too. Apology video. I'm sorry. And he's just like, no worries about it, man. You made my evening, honestly. I'm like, if you say so. So I paid for my popcorn eventually, and I went in. And then I experienced a great movie. Yeah, exactly, Isaiah. I was only half paying attention. Can you tell it again? That's what the VODs are for. I'm sorry. I can't do it again. No, Nora, I'm glad you brought it up. Which do you like more, the climax of Season 3 or the movie? It's really tough. They're really hand in hand for me. Because it's like, the climax of Season 3 needed a resolution like that. Because those were the big highs, and then when the dust settled, you needed some sort of resolution to, sorry for the redundant language, resolve it. And understand where we go from there. But with regards to the quality, I guess the conclusion of Season 3, but it's really close for me. How much is a ticket in Canada? $10? Give or take, $10? Resolve? Oh, that was beautiful, Sebastian. You should have been like, how about we round this down to just 21? He thought I was haggling. For popcorn at the movie theater. I'm such a disaster. Holy shit. I'm an embarrassment of a human being. This man is like, holy shit, why do I get this customer? He's haggling me for $2 when he's come to watch Kaguya-sama for friggin' popcorn. Let's haggle for an even higher 14 placement. How many subs we talking? How many gifted subs we talking? Anyway, Kaguya-sama Love is War, number 49. I adore it. It's just the student life. He genuinely seemed like he had a good time with it, so it's fine. Did you have the 169 change after telling him you don't? I just tossed him like a 5. Or no. I tossed him... I gave him a 20, yeah, and then I tossed him a 5. We both have stories to tell, this is true. Now for the last one of this list. And the last one for today. You should have talked to the manager. Kyoso Giga. We talked about it when we talked about the video that I didn't make. Kind of challenging, kind of out there, left field, but beautifully directed. One of the best directed anime out there. So endearing, so full of heart and charm. The structure of the story keeps you on your toes, but I don't think it's too convoluted. And the simple sentiment of the story always gets across amidst all the noise and chaos. And it's just so heartfelt and beautiful, and I adore it. I adore it. It is. It really is. Tyke. Hello, sir. Hello, Shek Boy. Welcome in. It's on my plan to watch. I hope you enjoy it. And yes, Dave has pinned my video. That definitely exists. For more fun times, watch the Great Ace Attorney streams. Yes, we've talked about all that and more. Cool, Andres. Also, like, you don't have to do that, Andres. Don't worry about the bets or whatever. Just you being there at all will be more than enough. That profile picture was really good. Time to unlist it because it doesn't exist. It doesn't. Is that the end of Tier 5 or are we still working through it? This is the end of Tier 5. So, now that we got this settled, so here we have this, Tier 5, and then right here is Tier 6. This is what it's like. The Great Ace Attorney streams are integral to the pegging lore of AJ's channel, among other things. Truly a must-watch. You know, a year and 2 months ago, I never would have thought that that sentence would ever exist. But it does, and it's brilliant. There are some unallocated subs, Indie Lord, so the percentage is slightly less than it should be. Sekiro's safe. I hope you enjoy it, Isaiah. But that's where we're ending today, guys, on the list. I think that's a perfect spot to end, actually. Almost exactly halfway. At the end of a tier, very clean. The top 47 works of fiction will be coming not next week, because next week we will be streaming Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers 5.3 expansion. So that'll take the Wednesday slot. That'll be in the evening, though. That'll be between 4 to 5 p.m. So this list... So this list will continue in 2 weeks today. 2 weeks today. Thank you, Pancholo, for the 5-month resub. Subs for the popcorn story. At least something good came out of it. 5.3. Do you guys think 5.3 will raise it from where it is? I mean, I'm gonna play it and then I'm gonna have a week to sit on it, so it's possible. And I guess Trish got her wish, right? We're gonna be streaming the top 100 list on her birthday. Thank you for the hydrate, Isaiah. The thrilling conclusion coming in 2 weeks. Yes, we will finish this list 2 weeks today, same time as usual, except with daylight savings normalized, which is how I prefer it. Where will Persona 5 Royal be? Final Fantasy XIV? Fata Morgana? Who's to say? To the heavens, eh? Know The Last of Us yet? No. Yeah, Know The Last of Us. Do you know what the MK Ultra project is? I don't. Will Haikyuu be first? I mean, it was second last time, so we'll see. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I think I want... so yeah, the schedule for the next week is as follows. Friday, One Piece stream. Friday, One Piece stream. Sorry, Andres, I destroyed it. Sunday, Vinland Saga and One Piece. Monday, Disco Elysium returns. Wednesday, Shadowbringers. That's what we got for the next week. Join the Discord if you're interested. We always got some fun stuff on there. And yeah, hope you guys have a great end to your week. I'll see you on Friday, some of you, the One Piece crowd. But let's give Critty a little raid. He's playing some Breath of the Wild. Naruto the week after? It'll be the week after the what's it called? The top 100 streams. Thank you guys very much. Have a great day. Have a good one.